It's all risky. The minute you were born, it got risky. If you think trying is risky, wait till they hand you the bill for not trying. If you think investing is risky, wait till you get the tab for not investing. See, it's all risky. Getting married is risky. Having children is risky. Going into business is risky. Investing your money is risky. It's all risky. I'll tell you how risky life is. You're not going to get out alive. That's risky.
Business OGs and they know me. Red Dawn readiness. Welcome to the show, homies. Readiness and resistance is a must, you know. When it hits the fan, better have a plan to go. Plate carriers on, ARs in hand. Radio comes, bug out plans on the fan. Guerrilla fighters and the A1 in sight. Grenades, 60-round drums, we hold tight. Staying brave, fearless men who fight for freedom. God-given rights, Lord knows we need them. Weird World Wednesday, it is what it is. Farm kids side, they protect your kids. Tunnel racks, militant acts, ready to react. Weapons in hand, full attack. Violence of action, rolling circus scene. Olive drab, quiet satisfaction and green. Prepare for the live, tune in tonight. Let's talk readiness, prepare to fight. And we're standing on business. OGs and they know me. Red Dawn readiness. Welcome to the show, homies. Rolling this.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Weird World Wednesday. And we got our boy CHRISKY with us to discuss how weird the world is. And say what's up to some people in chat. Say what's up to our moderators, Scoot, Virginia Roots, that crunchy mom. Sherman Sales, Tech Money in the building, Bruce B, Mark Legan, Gorilla AK. Who else we got? I'm missing anybody? Sergeant Rocks, Robert Ham, Kay Bowers, Sassy. Good to see you guys, man. Welcome to the show. And Risky, man, thank you for coming by, bro. We've been waiting on this live for a long time, man. Oh shit, you okay?
I'm bad with intros, dude. I'm trying to be fucking quiet over here. I waited to unmute my mic, and I'm about to make coffee, and I just spilled a bowl into my sink. Sorry, dude. I'm doing it already.
So yeah, man. I know we got into some stuff the other night on Wired Tights. Rob Stryker, good to see you. But yeah, figured we could cover the whole gamut of crazy stuff. That's kind of what I do on my channel anyway. But starting out, I guess my first question for you would be like, what was there one event that just opened all your eyes to like everything, or was it like a slow, gradual thing?
So it was definitely gradual, but it progressed fairly quickly. So it's like once the first couple of psyops were recognized, everything else, just the whole cookie crumbled after that. Yeah, like it was immediately like, and I think it's, like the phases of grief or whatever, or it's like, you don't believe it, then you're mad and all this, and you blame other people. And then you come to the acceptance phase. So it's like the natural cycle of that is to then go sort of the other way once you see it a few times and say, I don't believe anything, and question everything. So then you kind of, well, not everyone, but like me for sure, some of my friends, some other people on the internet that I've recognized, you question everything, right?
Real quick, they said your mic is still burping.
For fuck's sake. Okay. This is fun. All right, let me look here. I'll go into the settings. We'll look. Dude, that's why. I already fixed. How about now? Or
Perfect.
No, this is better. How about that?
Way better.
Okay, so my bad. I forgot, for those of you who make YouTube videos, when you use StreamYard, you have to check. Odds they made a weird noise, and then I plugged some in, and I had to change it. So you were listening to the AirPods in my pocket.
That's what it was.
Probably
all
not
right,
good.
cool. Yeah, you're crystal clear now.
Cool. So, could you understand the last thing I said, even though it was kind of gargled?
Yeah, I mean, it is something that you go through, like the stages of grief through when you finally open your eyes to the whole thing.
Yeah, so like I'm in the phase now where, yes, I still learn about new things, of course, current events, but having done the deep dive on a lot of subjects through the similar phases of grief, just comparing it to realizing you're in the matrix, right? Then that kind of make things clearer. And a lot of people, they scoff at some of the conspiracies, but if you just, even if you don't believe them, if you take the perspective of, okay, what if this was real? How does that pertain to the current event and what we've seen? And sometimes stuff that you might think is a little bit outlandish, or you never considered it or thought about it, you might find, hey, there's an error here. You look into it, it's like, oh shit. And it has a whole new can of worms that you can have access to. But the two big things for me, and it's kind of like three. So I don't remember what was first. I'll tell you a specific story in here, but
yeah,
the election of 2020 was one. The pandemic was one. Try to watch my words here for you, and the lists coming out of a certain island, right, and people caught up in that have yet to be named. Those three things were the catalyst for it. It's been so long, if you keep up with this at a regular level, it's a lot of work and it's kind of futile for the most part. So I would suggest for most people, unless you operate your work, or, you have a lot of free time, or, you have a certain channel that you post on, don't keep up with this stuff too hard, because it's stressful, and it's a full-time job, more or less, hours wise, just to even hear the information, digest it, and then formulate your own thoughts on it comparative to history and what you know. So don't get caught in the weeds. But I've been fortunate enough to where I've been able to do that for a while. And with the first, I don't remember which event happened first, right? Because I've been doing it for so long. It's like, I'm not trying to live in the past. I can reference that, but I'm trying to keep up with what's going on and kind of predict or have an idea of my thoughts for the future that I can convey to y'all, right? So so whether it was, I don't remember which one of these was first, but let's say it was I think it was the pandemic was first, I think.
Okay.
And that affected me personally, in my family's life, both family members, and I have a brother of mine who's permanently and totally disabled from that experiment, right?
God bless him, brother. And
yeah, so it affected me there. They tried to get my wife to have it when she was pregnant, and then I got fired for my thoughts on the subject that I made public at the job that I was at the time. So that affected me greatly, and my background in firefighting, kind of like with the whole size of particles that you breathe in and what masks can do and not do, and how it was treated and at my base level, I'm not an expert, but at my base level of understanding self-contained breathing apparatuses. And, I am an aircraft rescue I have that certification, right? So I used to work near an airport at one time, and I had to go and do the training inside the fuselages. So we know the inner workings of the plane, like how to get into the cabin, how to turn the plane on and off, all that stuff. And so thinking that wearing it in there is going to do anything. And then I got kicked out of a Cracker Barrel because the guy's like, just wear the face diaper until you get down and you can take it off. And I was like, quit bullshitting me. I was like, come on, man. I was like, this is outrageous. I was like, it's outrageous. And he wouldn't let me. And so I'm banned from a Cracker Barrel, which is unfortunate, because I love the old country store.
Yeah.
But seeing that lie, the blatant lie, right? And then realizing, like, after and I'll admit, the first week of it, I was like, I don't know what to do. This is kind of wild. I didn't fall for the trap. Like, I didn't have any procedures done. I didn't even get tested for anything, right?
I never took a test, not one time.
Nope. Yeah, and maybe I'm crazy, but I just think about the blood-brain barrier. Maybe that's an insane thing to think. Maybe I'm a loon for considering
Maybe
that.
me too, bro. I work in the healthcare industry, and I still avoided it.
I just don't. I'm not in for it. And I got, God bless me. I may or may not have got fired from a gig that would have required that, right? So I didn't have to go through with all that stuff, and some other things happened. But then the whole list comes out, and I'm sitting there, and at the time, and I'll be real with you. And I was dealing with some personal stuff from my old gig, and I, in the fire service, we go through a lot. Those guys, it's kind of never ending. For some people, it's every third day of your life. You never know what you're going to see, but it's unlike deployment for those of us in the military. It just continues for years and years and years. Yeah. And, I was dealing with some stuff from that and simultaneously processing the list and what that really meant. And I had a little bit of I don't want to say a mental breakdown. I didn't have to go to the hospital or anything, but like I had to check myself at one point, and I was just thinking about that. And it's like, I'm not afraid of men, of other people. They might be powerful. They might hold the monopoly on violence. They could torture you. They could come after your family. They could do so many things. I'm not afraid of men at face value. I'm afraid of things that I can't fight back against, that are smart. I don't want to say smarter than me, but have access to information that I don't, like demonic type stuff. And I am a Christian. And at that point, I was at a point where I was a moment in my life where I was trying to ask God to help me and, to get me through the time I was in. So I was in that moment at the same time processing that. Not to make it sound weird, but like, it kind of hit home. Like, this is evil. It's not like people don't do that on their own. This heinous stuff, especially to children. And that comes from somewhere else. 100%. That's real pure evil. And you look at what we're doing and, call me a loon, whatever, but like CERN and with all the AI stuff and the ceremonies and clear satanic worship. And even if they don't realize they're worshiping Satan, right? Just the fact that they don't care, or they just disregard it, means by default, they fall to the other side. And just that whole thing just coming clear in my mind was like, okay, so this is literally a good versus evil, the Lord, Christ, God versus evil, and overcoming that as it's written in the Bible, right? And so you take that, and then you take the other aspect of it, of the election, and that coming after the pandemic, seeing it before my eyes, right? And at the time, I was lucky. Remember, I said before, it's like a full-time job to keep up with this stuff, much less research insane theories and find stuff on literally at one point, I went through the entire Q boards because I wanted to know everything that these fucking guys were talking about. Because there were coincidences at face value. You're like, that's weird. And you look into it and it's like, what does this mean? What's all that? And then you learn about Operation Trust and all this other stuff. But then at the same time, some of this stuff is still kind of accurate. And it's like, well, clearly somebody has information here, probably using super quantum computers and algorithms, and they're still pumping it out, right? So it's like, clearly, I think it's obviously an op, but like looking into that thoroughly as one thing of 1,000 things, right? Yep. And then saying, okay, what about NASA? Okay, what about the theory of viruses, or quantum mechanics, like and the universe? Like, what are these people, and much less socioeconomic and history stuff, and going back in time and just going through the Bible and trying to even understand that. I haven't even got to my full, I need to do better and read the word, but like I haven't even done the deep dive on that. So there's so many things just to have a good grasp on what's truly happening and what's BS, right? And it's a lot involved. And I feel that those three events put me in a position to where, combined with my life experiences, I was able to then form a sort of a worldview of how I might be being manipulated, whether it's government or stuff on the box on the wall or the computer in my hand or whatever it is, right? And just kind of take that for what it's worth.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's so many different storylines to follow. The Q stuff has been super interesting, but like I feel like once your eyes are open, you take everything with a grain of salt and you almost look at it like, okay, here's like when you were a kid and you fall into some kind of movie or storyline. Now it's kind of like looking into things that way. And you just dive into it. You don't like hold anything with an emotional value, and you look at everything critically. One of the things you used to say all the time too is about like pattern recognition, and kind of going back to like the Luigi Mangione stuff that we're seeing going on. It's like, okay, there was this pattern of this highly sophisticated, highly intelligent guy who then eventually is just sitting at McDonald's with all the evidence sitting right on him. Something's not adding up here. And the pattern recognition is what you have to have, but you have to know that when you're doing this, that you're getting your information from bullshitters, from liars, from people seeking power, people who are seeking to control your mind. So that pattern recognition is constantly searching for where are you bullshitting me? Even though you may drop breadcrumbs of truth in between all this stuff, is what are the things that you're trying to get me to think? What are the things you're trying to get me to believe? And for sure, I've been down pretty much all the roads that I feel are needed to go down. And then I think it gets to a point where you realize like, okay, I have spent the time, the energy, I've spent nights up, and now it's kind of like, so where do I go from here? And I guess that would be my question for you too, is like after you woke up to a lot of stuff, did you always train with firearms? Did you always like, I'm not going to get into whether you have a mag or you don't have a mag. That's all your own stuff. But like where you were like, okay, I want to get involved with other people and I want to have, be prepared for situations. Like, was it all kind of gradual at the same time, or were you into that stuff before you started looking into any of this?
So I grew up in the suburbs outside of Atlanta, and they didn't own a gun. And the first time, and people don't believe me, but
my parents didn't either.
The truth. The first time I ever shot a real firearm was in basic training, and due to some, I don't remember why, but we went to the Saw range before we shot our M4s. At the time, we had M16s. We had to do basic with M16s, and then we got M4s and the infantry phase at the end. But I shot the Saw first. So the first gun I ever shot was a 249 Saw when I was 18. But I was 18.
Okay.
So when I did a basic enlistment. At the time, not the shortest enlistment you could have, but one of the shortest. It was just shy of 4 years, and I was an infantryman. I was not in special forces. I was a paratrooper in the 82nd. I was an infantryman, and I shot very well. And I only give credit due to the Army at a basic level because I didn't know how to shoot. So I just did exactly what they told me. I was like Forrest Gump, right? Like I had no fucking idea what to do. So just tell me what to do and I'll do that. Yeah. And and I can see, I feel like I don't want to say gifted, but like I have the point of view of I did time in the military, not special forces or anything like that, but just to see how regular Army and military people handle firearms. And then I learned a lot of like kind of dumb sort of stuff, but at the time nobody was teaching it any better. So a lot of the guys, like we call them FUDs or like whatever. We might see an early GWAT guy as we might call him a boomer or something because he holds an M16 sideways up on his cheek, right? Yeah. But like that's what they were taught, and those dudes literally went to war like that because they didn't know any better, and it worked for them at the time. So I really try to blend those two together because I didn't know any better until I got out. Yeah. And when I got out, there was a time where, I still had guns and I concealed carried as soon as I was 21. And I did all that, but I didn't really take firearms too seriously until, I don't know, I was probably 26 or 27. And then I started collecting, I think I bought my first Daniel Defense when I was like 26, maybe. And it was kind of on from there. And then I would just, at the time I was watching Such and Nut and
Love
Fancy
Such.
and James Yeager, because there wasn't really much else out there. And just trying to see what other people were doing. And a lot of it was hokey bullshit. And I had to learn the hard way, right? Like the first pistol I bought was a Glock 23. And I thought I was hot shit with a Glock 23, right? Like I put a fucking Crimson Trace grip laser on it. And I was like, a red one. And I was like, man, don't fuck with me. Right. Yeah. Like fucking idiot. But I was like 21. So
I was the same way. I had a 27 was my first gun.
And then but the thing is, nobody wants to hear the shit, like just a Glock 19, just get a Glock 19 and then get just an M4 carbine, a 14.5 or 16. It doesn't fucking matter. And just put like a quality optic on it and buy one. And, I even put out YouTube videos because I wanted to tell guys like, hey, there is a cheaper way to get into it. You can do this. And I shoot this stuff. I have a few nice guns and I have a bunch of shitty guns. Right. I have my favorite guns that I would use. And then I have a bunch of other ones that I think are cool and fun that I can afford. And I can give those out or do whatever plink with them.
For sure. But not trust only that, but keep something cheap in the car too. Like if you're going to put anything in your car, don't put something that you'd be sad if you lost.
Right. Yeah. But also make sure, like at the same time, I'm not asking. I don't train, so a lot of trainers would be like, "Put 5,000 rounds to the gun before you trust it." Like, I get that. God. I get it. I understand where they're coming from.
I get it, but it's just not as practical.
But what I say is, hey, put like 100 rounds through an AR, like a Smith & Wesson M&P, or like a PSA with a new bolt carrier of your choosing and some other stuff, and put it and just zero it and Loctite it and torque everything down, and make sure it works. And shoot it a few times, and if it works, like, okay, for a truck gun, like, dude, that works. You don't have to have a Daniel Defense, or some BCM tricked out. Like, I get it. You might want that as your main gun. If you can afford it, cool, definitely do it. But
definitely,
a lot of guys can't. Or they're in the other stage where they can't even comprehend wrapping their mind around spending that much money on a gun. Like, let them fuck up a few times. It's okay.
I mean, I try to let people know too. Like if you're into guns long enough, you're gonna acquire more things, and then eventually you trade 3 guns in for a BCM and go to the store, build a relationship.
That's the great part about it. And if you're in a free state, you can go, and especially like a constitutional carry state. But like in most states, if they got a concealed carry, again, check your state and all that shit. Like, don't say that I told you to do it. But like, you can just go and private sale these to people as long as they're not felons. And if they have an active concealed, then like it would get confiscated by the sheriff if they were in trouble. So you can go and just, if you buy a few things and you're like, man, I'm over this. I grew out of this period, or like, I wouldn't want to trade these in for other things. You can totally do that. Like, it's okay. It happens. Like all of us have done
it. Yeah, I've done that a lot.
Literally all of us have done that. It's okay. It's a phase, like it's part of the natural thing. But what I try to convey is if you're, and I'm not trying to speak down to anybody, but like if you're in that mode where you want to buy a cheaper gun, whether it's due to money or experience level or whatever, just like, hey, maybe do this and this. If you're set on that, buy this or that. But it's I know off topic. It's off topic, but I'll say this and then I'll shut up for a minute because I've been fucking rambling. It's sort of like I've identified in GunTube, like one of the aspects, and we should talk about this later, but one of the aspects that people forget that are GunTube creators is most people are just searching for shit because they want to buy it or they already bought it.
Mm-hmm.
And people like GunTube is stale, but love them or hate them, people like Hop are going to be fine because you know what they do? A lot of it is sensible reviews of products with his, obviously he has bias, but he tries to make it fairly, detailed with information. Those guys are always going to be able to have a job, right? Because they're doing that. Anyone who's not hyper focused on that, they got to remember, like you can put out, you just need to see what do they want to watch? They want to watch either something brand new, which I think we should talk about this later. Again, I got a few ideas.
Yep.
Or they want to justify their purchases. And if you're not in the market of reviewing new products, and there's not a whole lot of new cool products out right now, to be honest,
Yeah.
we should really focus on, hey, what do people have? What are they worried about right now? And we have to come from a different angle. Like, nobody wants to watch plate carriers versus chest rigs or LPVOs versus red dots. They want to see nut and fancy information at length from a guy who they can somewhat have credibility and hear his thoughts on why he likes his 16-inch or why some other guy likes this, but come from a regular angle, or like, why do I use this scope in this setup? Like, that could bridge the gap right now for boring ass gun tube, because there's only a few people out there creating hot shit like Vintage Warfare or some of these other guys. Everyone else is kind of like, what the fuck?
Well, I'm working on a strategic relocation out of my current state somewhere so that I can have a range. That way I can do practical shooting and testing of things, because I do feel like that is something people are never going to get tired of. Even if it's a product they've had sitting in their closet for 3 years and they come across the video, they're going to look at that video. And so, you know, it's a constant journey trying to figure out what to put out and what you think people will see. And then the algorithm is weird. Sometimes you make something and you're like, this will do great. People are looking for this. And then you make something off the cuff, and then whatever it is off the cuff seems to hit way harder sometimes. So YouTube is just putting it out, you know, like, you just want to keep putting it out and be yourself and put out what you like, and don't be fake. And I feel like over time it all kind of works out. Quality of videos helps a lot. But like, I've only been doing this for 11 months. Let's see, what's my oldest video? 11 months. And I've had 3 channels banned, monetized, demonetized. They never kicked any of my channels, but they demonetized all 3 of them. So it just is what it is. I mean, the key is just keep trucking at it. A lot of times I make videos just to keep motivating myself, to keep training, keep inspecting my own things, just giving my opinion on certain stuff I've either used or have or looked at. But yeah, the gun tubing stuff, people love guns. So I mean, I don't think anyone will ever get tired of watching people shoot. Modern Frontiersman had a thing. He made a video on like pine tea. And then he was like, what if I just put a gun in the thumbnail and see if that'll change the algorithm? Because the algorithm is weird. People love guns in general. Like, the prepping community and the gun community are pretty different. My channel was like, I really tried hard to bridge that gap of like prepping and firearms training and products and stuff like that. And, you know, I feel like I'm doing that pretty decently, but it's awesome. I do get an awesome mix of like the prepping community people and some of the 2A people. But the prepping community has your back way harder than the 2A community. The 2A community will turn on a hat, and the prepping community rocks with you. I got to say that.
I can imagine so. That makes sense. I really think, you know, people are always, the thing a lot of guys forget is you make videos, it comes back full circle sometimes. You might put out a video and you might be way ahead of a thought, or you might have a different thought that other people don't recognize. And a year later, your video comes back and it gets a ton of hits because that topic comes up again. Mm-hmm. Another one is just having relevant discussion. A lot of guys, they put things out because for whatever reason, whether it's they get a new product in for a company, or they're in a certain part of their evolution of their channel and they want to put something out for their own personal reasons. For sure. And they don't get a lot of hits, or a lot of guys will get downtrodden because it plateaus. And I think a really good way to keep up is just talking openly. I think people get too wrapped up in editing and all that. And yes, you need it, but something as simple as, and he would probably roast the both of us, which is fine, but like a Sam Hyde style approach, you know, people they've come a long way in the last 5 years. in all the
sure.
communities on YouTube that are on the conservative side of things. So they're open to a lot more than we used to think they were, and finding a way to skirt the line to where you can still create content, which I failed at, by the way. So maybe this advice is null and void, but just from an outsider looking in, you know, if y'all don't know Sam Hyde, he's the guy who is he's a creator, he's a comedian, he's really funny. He's the one blamed for all the mass shootings, like the Ghost of Kiev. Like they Photoshop his face in there. He's got a podcast and he's on YouTube. Go check out his content. He talks about literally every single thing, that all the conspiracies, everything, but he talks about current culture. And like, if we could combine that sort of approach with guns, but at the end of the day, I think a lot of people have realized, and I don't want to say it's the end of GunTube, a lot of people have realized like guns are such a small part of the whole equation.
Yes.
That it's not irrelevant. And like I said about like Hop's channel and a lot of these channels, like I think a lot of them will endure because people will still crave the content. However, a lot of people are not going to. And I think realizing that now and bridging the gap into just common sense thinking and being a little wittier than the algorithm and just staying at the forefront of not pop culture, but, you know, current events and culture. That's how we win, because we're smarter and we're cooler than these fucking idiots that are trying to censor us. So just roll with that, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what we have to realize.
Yeah, I mean, you want to make stuff as entertaining as possible and don't keep it dull and just like the same thing all the time, because unless you have like total addicts that just like fiend off products, like you have to add a lot more to everything. Hop and, you know, Brass Facts, they have their own personality thing going on, which is great for them. Scenery plays a huge part in it too. I mean, if you like those dudes shooting out in the mountains in Utah really help the videos for sure. But yeah, man, getting back to like the crazy stuff. So like with everything going on, you know, do you think anything crazy could happen before this inauguration? Like, do you think that there could be anything right now to stop the inauguration?
In a like a strategic sense, I look at it from like, I don't want to say a gambling perspective, but just like, what do the numbers say, right? And the numbers are completely subjective in my mind of like, I think this is probably more a serious of a threat than that, this and that, and the counters to that, and what, you know, everything twined in on it or intertwined. I think it's highly likely that they're gonna try something. And when I say they, I mean a lot of different groups of people, certain intelligence agencies, both here and elsewhere, certain different regular agencies within our own government, certain black listed, you know, black op type government funded things here. And then a lot of other outside interests that, hey, the timing's now, right? And then a lot of people, like, to allude to the first point, in our own government, the people that are threatened, that know a little bit too much or had a little bit of a hand in something that they shouldn't have, but still retain some sort of power, whatever that may be, at all levels of government. I think it's highly likely, the odds are some one of them will try something to cause such a ruckus that we're distracted, or it more likely it puts us in a catastrophic circling of the drain towards World War III with Iran.
Yeah, and I think that they need even more than that to go off, you know? Like, I really think the order out of chaos thing is what they're setting up.
Well, I also think, like, the countermeasures are there. People are onto this. Like, if I'm thinking about this, and not to give the government too much credit, but certainly someone, at least in the new changeover of government, is thinking about this, right? So there's obviously countermeasures in play. So it's all eyes focused on this right now. So no one's buying the full story with this, you know, Luigi fella, right? Like that smells like fish from a mile away. So we're already questioning that.
anything else that happens, look at how we were hyper focused on the election, right? And we were relieved when nothing happened and we won, like it should be, but it's almost too easy. If the suspicion is true that these people committed crimes of all sorts of heinous nature, certainly there's some self-survival instinct in there.
For sure.
And I think something, whether it's kinetic or if it's some other method, will take place that kind of in an attempt binds the hands of the new administration, so that they don't have a choice but to have to go into this conflict, whatever it is. And I don't know how necessarily they do that. I have thoughts on it, but if they don't do that, it's not that I think it won't happen. I think it could happen literally any time after that. So I would assume something will happen, maybe not the big event, but certainly some event should happen before the inauguration. And if it doesn't, I would expect maybe an even bigger event. I expect 9/11 again, or multiple 9/11s. And I hope I'm wrong. And I hope 10 years from now, I look back and I'm like, I was a fucking retard. And I thank God my new identity, no one ever knows. Right. But like, if I were a betting man, I would say odds are more likely than not something, maybe not the big thing, happens before or on inauguration, and then we get into a conflict somehow.
Yeah, and I think the domestic issue is definitely something that has to kick it off. Like, we haven't seen enough domestic destabilization for any of their plans to really start going forward. And I think, obviously having the border open for 4 straight years, it's even open right now, just letting these people in and setting the stage for something really big to go down. Because their ultimate thing is like, keep us all inside, have at-home jobs, nobody come out, have everything shipped to your house. Just really get rid of our ability to move around, talk to each other, be outside, do things that continue to make us stronger.
Well, a point of note that you mentioned, setting the stage with the illegal immigrants.
Yes,
it's exactly like that. You don't bring a prop into a movie or a play unless you intend to use it. And a lot of us thought it would be utilized during the election, and it wasn't. So that prop is still here on the stage, yet to be used. There's a few ways they could use it. It could be anything from chaos and violence all the way towards it's the catalyst of us moving them out, right? All the way towards they replace certain parts of our socioeconomic order that we have due to jobs. Like, there's so many different things that could take place here. It's
think
still
about
yet
this.
to be utilized.
Think about this whole Luigi Mangione thing, right? Has like a big support for him taking out this like corporate executive against the system type thing. And then, even some of the media were scared to walk that line, I felt like, considering he like blatantly murdered someone on camera. But if we continue to see like Trump push to kick people out, to send families out, and it looks brutal on TV, the media will support. Like, these people, what's the black lady's name who looks like
bro, they'll support
already?
it. They acted like that guy on the horse was whipping the illegal immigrant.
Yeah.
That his reins were whipping him. Yeah, of course. They're the enemy.
Yep. They will 100% back whatever chaos happens, even if it's, some type of explosions, which I think are a thing that we probably might see here.
A lot of explosive material went missing in California, lest we forget.
The train.
Where'd that go?
There's people that say it went in that it was used a little bit for these weather control things. Some people were saying that it was used for that, but no,
I think it was. If you never hear from me after this, maybe this is the part that you clue into. I think it was probably stolen and transported in diesel or gasoline tankers via rail or semi truck to somewhere else. Because I looked it up.
For sure.
Cool thing about my little basic poopy knowledge of hazmat stuff. I did look the stuff up. I did look up the I don't remember if it was the way bill or the bill of lading. It was whatever the manifest was for the material. I looked that up and the weights and where it could be transported, and it could be transported unfortunately, there was a few of them that happened, and one of them was not on the news. It happened elsewhere, but these could be transported in fuel.
Mm.
So that's my guess. And again, I don't know anything other than just connecting dots. It's a non-zero possibility. I'll say that.
I agree with you. I mean, it's out there. You gotta consider it. What do you think is the biggest things they use to control the minds of the masses? So, what do you think is behind the Operation Mockingbirds? Like, where do you think that they have basically put society in a trance, in a sleep, to the fact that why aren't we fulfilling our purpose, even as Americans, let alone as Christians? But why is it so many people don't feel the need to be self-reliant, to have land, to live in suburban, urban areas, in mass populated areas, and can't really like wrap their head around the fact of like you're a fish in a barrel, and it's just so easy for them to control you in these situations? And then obviously the television is a massive tool for that. But do you think there's like anything else? Do you think that NASA and the space program and them constantly, even the war machine, them constantly making you feel like you're inferior to their superiority is like the biggest thing? Or is it just constant distractions enough to keep people in a trance?
Well, I think Yuri Bezmenov sort of phrased it the best.
Yeah, he did.
That, and to paraphrase him, you could literally take these people on the trains into the alleged concentration camps. I'll just say that, the alleged concentration camps that we're told exist. Yeah. So according to him, and they still wouldn't realize what's happening as they're getting off, right? Like they've been indoctrinated to such a degree, they cannot distinguish truth from reality. And there's until they're ready to see things for what they are, there's borderline nothing we can do. You know, you might be able to drop hints or have conversations, but we've all been there, right? Like a lot of these people, it's just, I don't want to say write them off, but they got to find it in their own time. You know, if a 50 or 60-year-old man, you know, they've been on this earth longer than me, privy to the same access of information that I have, you better have a damn good excuse to why you're so lost. Right? Like, it's not my problem that I can't convince you that the truth exists. And it's kind of like the whole infrastructure of our government is to lie and protect its own interests and the interests of the controllers of it, and to suck the life force out and force us into slavery through manipulation and propaganda. So I look at actually, I would say honestly, every single agency out there, every single entity in which receives government funding, full funding, right? Like fully funded government projects, is fronting. They have and there's an office or there's a department there, and they are putting out propaganda. And I think a lot of these departments are fully devoted to it. Like 100%. NASA, I think NASA is a full front. I think it's not to say they don't exist, right? Like a lot of people, and so this is the part, as a responsible person listening to this, don't take my word for it. Just formulate questions in your own mind of the timing and the formation of NASA. Who was involved in the formation of NASA? Who were the people?
Nazis.
Yeah, dude. Like, Operation, that's what I'm saying. Paperclip, so look at how it was formed. Disney. Look at these people involved. Look at the amount of money they've got, and their own interviews about we're destroying our own technology, can't go back to the moon. Look at how we got Elon Musk allegedly doing better in space than them. Allegedly. Right. And I think a lot of it is they're doing some secret spook bullshit, bundle of sticks type stuff up there for their own interest and intel. And I think a lot more of it is just money laundering and bullshitting you specifically for propaganda, and not just control, for sure, but it's on a world scale, world power scale, because if you can't compete with them as another nation, and they're faking and lying, right? Nobody's going to believe you, right? And you don't even know for yourself until you have the technology to even prove it, that they're lying to begin with. And then you look at the time frame in which the space race and how we benefited from that, and kind of the stalemate that we've been in ever since, and how all the liberal bullshit indoctrination places are quoting and getting all this information and stuff from NASA. And you can't even go to Antarctica. You can't even, like, I say we fund a trip to Antarctica, right? Like, I think NASA's one of NASA's biggest jobs is hiding shit in Antarctica from us. Again, call me a loon. I don't fucking care. I don't care. Call me anything you want. I do not fucking care. That's what I think.
Where do you think the funding for all the things, like everything down there costs so much money to get down there, to maintain down there, to have teams, to have, like, that money's got to come from somewhere, and it's obviously not as open sourced as NASA is.
I like the thought that there are hidden worlds out there that I've never explored. Again, I don't think that necessarily is the truth, but they're definitely hiding shit from us. 100%.
Yeah, maybe not.
I'm not saying we're not going to access Narnia, right? But like, dude, there's some shit going on that just randomly came into agreement that they can go there, but we can't. And
there's a lot more pyramids and shit around the world than Egypt.
Yeah,
and
don't even get me started on fucking Buzz Aldrin's heart attack in Antarctica.
Yeah. Yeah. And John Kerry going down there like the day before the 2016 election. There's a lot of crazy stuff, man. NASA for sure resides. Yeah. I mean, I talk about chimera, animal human hybrids. Like, they definitely have been working on that for a long time. If you go back and watch the very first podcast that Rogan had Alex Jones on, it's one of my favorite.
Have you ever listened to Blurry Creatures podcast?
Blurry Creatures.
Oh my God, you haven't. If you take nothing, if anyone that can hear my voice takes nothing from this, look up Blurry Creatures. It's a podcast. And when I say go to the craziest fucking thing you can find on there and click it, do it immediately. Nephilim, we're talking like they're recreated, they're having sex with demons through certain bloodlines of royalty. Yeah. It's the most insane shit you've ever heard. And it's crazy because a lot of it's like, for fuck's sake, that could be possible. Right?
So Sunday Cool had them on and did a podcast with Blurry Creatures.
Dude, I'm not doxing myself. I have very close ties with the Blurry Creatures and some stuff there. Yeah. So I like it a lot. I wanted to fund a trip to Afghanistan to see the burial site of the giants. Yep. And I wanted to get them involved in it.
Bro, that would be fire.
Go in on Pakistan's side and just sneak up into the fucking mountain.
Hell yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, there's stories that the entire war was there to find Nimrod's burial site and hidden technology.
Dude, if you want to hear about Nimrod and the beds, the big beds, and all the shit in Iraq, go listen to Blurry Creatures. I swear to you, you have my number now. You're going to call me and be like, bro, I listened to the fucking Bloodline Nephilim episode. Yeah, dude. I'm not saying I agree with everything they say. So just take that as a disclaimer, right? I'm not on board with 100%. I have my own thoughts, and I think they should be open to some of the things I believe. But generally speaking, I fucking love it.
Do they kind of... like how Sunday Cool Tees, whatever, they changed their name to Sunday Cool.
I don't even know what that is.
You don't know Sunday Cool?
No. So do I need to go look that up?
Yeah, you 100% do.
Okay.
They're probably the other side of the coin of Blurry Creatures.
Cool.
But
and they're on Twitter and everything. They're on Instagram too. They're really cool. Like, you can message them and they'll respond.
But do they like make a joke a lot about it? Like, when they're talking about it, they're talking about it.
No, they're dead serious. They're hardcore Christians, and they relate all of it to scripture. And that's why it's kind of wild, because you're like, oh, wow. Hey, yeah, dude. They're pretty read in on a lot of the conspiracies and stuff, and they formulate some pretty good opinions on things. Again, like I said, I'm not 100% on board, but I don't keep up with it all the time. Sure. I'll watch an episode here or there when I remember. I forgot about it until just now. I haven't watched one in like months.
Well, in Revelation, when the like flying bug creatures come out and start stinging people and killing people, I mean, there's definitely something interesting there. And you go all through the scriptures from the beginning to the end. There's interesting beings in this world that I'm pretty confident exist somewhere, whether they're underground, reptilian creatures. I mean,
I think
I
there's
don't
shit underground too.
anything's-
The missing
yeah.
411. Have you looked into that?
The missing 411.
Oh my
No.
God. You don't know about the missing 411?
Nice.
Oh my God. Dude, cave networks in these public US Forest Service lands.
Oh, yeah.
The people that go missing and the stories of being abducted and
Yep.
shit like that is insane, dude.
Mhm.
There's the numbers. If you map it out, it's fucking crazy. And a lot of people will just chop it up to, yeah, they're in the woods. They went missing. Like, okay, I get that. I see that. But not at this rate. It don't work like that. And the fact that like the government
sure.
hasn't done something serious to go comb these places, like I think we got
Most
if
likely
there's
tells you
dog
they're
men,
involved.
dude. There's so you should anyone if you're interested in the dog men, where the dog man thing came from. This guy Terrence Popp, he's a special forces veteran. He has a channel. He talks a lot about like how to deal with divorce and stuff, but he's fucking funny. He drinks all the time on stream, and I used to go on his show all the time. He helps dudes that are dealing with like PTSD.
Regiment?
Yeah, dude. He helped, dude. To be honest with you, if any of y'all are dealing with PTSD or whatever, especially from the military, watch some of his stuff and you can contact him. And he's saved probably 1,000+ lives, like just from talking to people that were suicidal. And he keeps like a tally of it. So every time he does a stream, somebody new will be like, boom, put my name up or put my number up there. And so he's like a cool dude, but he had some guys talking about the fucking dog man and like Native Americans out in the land of the lakes or the land between the lakes. I think it's like, you know where I'm talking about? It's up like Midwest North. I forget what state it's in.
Is it in the Great Lakes?
I
Somewhere
think
in the
it's out
Great
that
Lakes?
area. I think so.
You know, there was like an Epstein before Epstein that had a spot like in one of the center of the Great Lakes, and they were running all. I mean, there's probably a million Epstein.
Dude, they're stories, they're written, sworn
Yeah.
statements from soldiers in the 101st that were training there, and a dog creature like came in. It was like multiple different NCOs from different platoons and different companies reported seeing it, and then this other one of this Native American medic. He was like two Army dudes on leave. Or like on a pass, and one of them was a medic, and he was like a Native American, and they were talking about like seeing something out in the woods. I don't remember how it came about, but he's like, no, they're out here, and he's like, you got to bring hot dogs, and so that's when I started talking about glizzies because I was like, the fucking dog man eats glizzies, dude, and they went out there and did some ceremony with the glizzies, and the fucking dog man came, dude. So I'm not saying it's real. I've never seen one, but the stories are hilarious, and you know, it's all these military guys saying it. It could be a joke. That's also, they would likely all collaborate or just think it's funny enough to perpetuate it. I get that.
Yeah,
but
I get that too.
Also, maybe, I don't know.
Never know, man. The Dog Man. I got the Dog Man shirt, by the way. Shout out to Linchpin.supply. If y'all are looking for the Risky Dog Man shirt, bro, Linchpin's got all of the
Linchpin's got it, and then I think they got the one where I have the Schizo Buffet. You can get the Schizo Buffet shirt there. I don't make any money from that, so that's just for y'all. Again, so like I haven't really put out merch that I've sold and made money off of. I think I might have once. I don't remember. But if y'all want to make merch and you want to use my likeness, just DM me and I'll help you fucking design something that I would sign off on, and I won't ask for any of it. I don't care. Just give me one or two of them so I can wear it around or give it to my.
I'm working on a site and things like that. Honestly, I got so much going on with this move, and now I'm losing my job and.
No, I hear you, bro.
Insanity going on right now in life, but I got some things. 2025, I think, is going to be bright if we're all still here, or we're not in the middle of the trenches or something. So when it comes to training, you said you don't really train much anymore. I know you're focused on a lot of like your work and service and stuff right now that you have in your area, but are you still trying to get out and shoot whenever you can?
I haven't been shooting quite as much. I dry fire all the time. I still, when I'm at home or when I'm free, I still fuck around and do what I can. But I used to shoot, dude, like when I was making videos all the time, I was probably shooting 4,000 to 5,000 rounds a month. And it's not the same as, it's obviously you got other gun tubers who do more than that. I get it.
Yeah.
But like realistically, and that's not through one gun. It's, you know, it's a combination, generally 9mm and 5.56, and some 7.62. But I really was
it was humbling to see, just if you put in the work. And the things the guys say online are true. You're better off spending the money on ammo and training, not necessarily
100%.
training and paying some guy to teach you. Like, a class is good if you have no baseline, but like if you were in the military or whatever, and you keep up with YouTube and you kind of have an idea of what you need to do.
For sure.
If you're at a baseline decent shooter, you can sort of correct yourself or find a buddy that can help you. And if you just dump rounds down range, like if you go put 100 or 200 rounds downrange in an indoor pistol range a week, you're you're going to realize that you're going to get really good in a matter of a few months, because it's not like riding a bike. It is in that you're always going to be decent. You're going to have the muscle memory sort of, but when you do it all the time, it's like second nature, right? There's no pause. The draw stroke and all that are really crisp and clean. The shots are there. The sights are where you want them as soon as the gun presents properly.
Yep.
And just the recoil control, and mainly, especially for handgun, the grip. And that's what I would say to people. If you're limited on funds, obviously you want to have your rifle or your long gun squared away and zeroed and everything, but really focus on that pistol, because the pistol translates significantly more to the rifle than the rifle does to the pistol. And the odds are, as a civilian, you're going to use the pistol if you conceal carry. Home defense, you might have a different outcome, but the grip, getting a good grip on that pistol and presenting it properly, and the recoil mitigation that you're gonna have to do to put some realistic rounds down range. That if you focus on that, you're going to be ahead of the curve.
Yeah, especially pistol. I mean, pistol, you want to shoot it as often as possible. People do focus a little bit too much on rifle stuff, but we've been focusing a lot on pistol stuff. I would
Rifle's
say
cooler. I like rifle more. Like, I'll be honest,
yeah.
like it's way fucking cooler. But
of course,
you
don't have to reload as often.
Yeah. If you put the time in with the pistol, you'll be rewarded exponentially.
100%. Yeah, Dark's been saying that forever. Be really good with your pistol. 100 yards, first shot. Which I'm with you. I think you should. Your pistol is for sure. It's with you 24/7 if you are smart. My pistol's with me 24/7. But I would say too is professional training, or at least someone that shoots more often than you, or even filming yourself, like just being able to be critical of what you're doing, having somebody critique what you're doing. You can see improvements rather quickly doing that, instead of working through so many of your own mistakes and trying to figure out what it is if you don't have a lot of experience shooting. But there is, man, between YouTube and like, if you are determined to make yourself a good shooter, it doesn't take that much. I think some people who are not into guns or not into shooting, like, they definitely get like, I don't know if I could ever shoot that much, but it becomes addicting. The more you do it, the more you want to do it, and the better you get, and the more you understand your weapons, the better you're going to get. What do you think about, like, how often should somebody train with their team? Like, if they have a bug out squad or a group of guys, like if they're former military, I'm sure there's probably a little less time they need to spend together because they have a core understanding of certain principles. But do you still feel like they should get together and talk about certain things, and how often should somebody do that?
I mean, it all depends on how seriously everyone takes it and how much they want to invest in it, because most people will probably just meet up, go to the range a few times. They might meet up in the woods. They probably won't have access to shoot in the woods. They might move around a little bit. They might be able to meet at somebody's house and move around inside, but not shoot. That's more realistic for most people. So that's fine, but if you really want to have any semblance of a chance of dealing with another group, and even more so if you're talking about a professional group, whether it's another nation state or some other entity, you have to really train a lot. And it's I don't mean to sound crass here, but it's borderline unrealistic to expect that you're going to have the same, even close to capability as another team, a professional team of the same amount of people. Right? They'll probably have access to other stuff that you won't, especially in their initial weaponry.
They'll have switches that you don't, and some other things, and maybe some backup that you don't. But realizing that our asset is the numbers. So getting people just generally acquainted with small unit tactics and individual movement techniques is the most important thing. Because if they just have a basic understanding of how to handle their firearm correctly, zero it, shoot, and they can practice on their own individually, and then they know how to get down and crawl and low crawl and then bound, and then they know the basic, idea of find, fix, finish, all that stuff, or actually, if you want to go into the detail of battle drill type stuff, that takes a long time. If you look at how long it takes to stand up other nations, it's months, 6 months, 3 to 6 months if you got a special forces team going in there. And I'm not the expert here. It could be a different time, but it's not overnight. And that's working with them like borderline every day. So it takes time. So you're going to have to put the reps in. The more experience everyone has, the better, because you just have to kind of be on the same page and understand, maybe you cut a few steps out or you do this differently or that differently. But I think just having close relationships with people that you trust to maintain themselves, right? Like it sort of has to be a big boy world that we're living in. I can't realistically trust every man that I know that I would want to go to war with if, there's some god awful thing that happens and the militia gets called up, whatever that means. We're not all going to have met together and have trained together before. Some of us have, but the ones that I would trust, I know that they keep themselves sharp. I know that they're doing PT on their own, or they go to the gym, or that they go sure. And they roll at the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu place, or they're into guns, or they work professionally with guns, or they have more time in the military and did cooler shit than I did, right? Like those are the people I'm trying to hang out with, and everyone can't do that, but you have to find what works for you. If you have the ability and you're a younger guy and you don't have a family and you can train all the time, then surround yourself with other guys that are young and can train all the time. Maybe find one with land. And then go do that for fun, and then go out there, on the weekends or go hunt with them. But the average dude, I think the best thing you can do is find a couple of close people, ideally your neighbors or your relatives, your siblings or your kids if you're old enough, and people you can really trust, and then just get them into guns, and then get them into the mindset of getting their gear squared away and their food and all the stuff that just sustains their life and their family's life. And then try to get out there and just start doing basic stuff like, hey, let's go camping, but just you can bring your rifle. And then even if they don't, the next time, guess what they're going to do? They're going to bring their rifle. And you can go walk around, right? It doesn't have to be some overnight thing, because the people you would want and you would trust might not always be the people that are truly interested in it. And at the end of the day, if all shit breaks loose, I'm not just going to be like, hey, you're a military age male that lives in the vicinity of me. Let me arm you.
Gun. Right.
I would more or less be like, oh, here's cousin Bernie, and I love him, but he's a fucking idiot. But let's go out in the back and train until I can trust you a little bit.
Yeah. Maybe we should start stocking like air rifles or something for those guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's weird. I don't know how much time we have left. I don't know what the plans are. I don't see it ending up any good. I think one of the biggest snakes in the grass right now, besides what possibly Trump's presidency could mean, what it could lead to, I hope it leads to stabilization economically. But Elon, to me, is like the biggest thing that creeps me the frig out, man. Today I saw that they announced that he's like, I think he's at 300 billion net worth or something, and that they're like, no one's ever been over 300 billion. And then you look at all the things he does, and it's like a boring company, a rocket company, mind pro computers, social media.
Elon is 100% a snake in the grass.
100%.
100%. It's convenient to utilize his platform right now due to all the things going on with censorship.
However, he ain't saving us. He is literally in on whatever's going on to some degree or another, or he's being used due to his power, and he's not even. And I think he's definitely being used. I seen him take a certain trip recently that I think he was forced to take, to take part in the humiliation ritual. But nonetheless,
which trip was that? Did he go to? Do you mean the one where he went with Trump, or which one?
No,
was it?
I think he went and saw the wall. He went in
Antarctica.
No, dude, no, the wall you got to go to if you want to win an election in Israel.
Oh, he went to that one.
He went there, dude. Yep, sure did. I think he went there with Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro took him. If I'm not mistaken, they were in the picture there together. Had to go. X was getting too out of hand. Got to reel it in. Got to remind you, hey, remember, you can't let people talk about whatever they want. We said this happened. Remember? For sure. I mean, I think Alex Jones was one of the first things that really, like, all right. So I've been watching Alex Jones since I was in high school. Love Alex Jones. Think he's a plant, but still love him at this point.
Me too.
Still great.
He's a national symbol at this point. But it's funny because it's like our national symbol for conspiracies is a plant. So like that alone should give you enough idea of what we're dealing with. And as a whole.
And people, why we all are hesitant and call everyone a Fed. Like I actually got called. I think somebody called me a Fed in the last live stream and they said, "Why is he a Fed?"
Oh man,
because he got kicked off of YouTube and other people talk about the same stuff. And I was like, that's a good point, but I don't know how the Fed, how does that advance the Fed narrative?
Yeah,
I'm literally not doing anything.
I was going to say, you're fedding by not putting out videos. Yeah. Goonbeam, good to see you, Goonbeam. Always appreciate you in the chat. I didn't know that either, Goonbeam. So I may have to go check out Risky's X. I might have missed a post about it because I'm sure he dropped something probably about it.
You're on X, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on X. I keep my thing private because at first it was like, why are so many bots?
Send me a message and I'll follow you.
All right.
Yeah.
I will. But I just made an Instagram literally a week ago. So if anybody wants to follow my Instagram, it's Red Dawn Readiness, one word. And honestly, I've been trying to stay off social media. I was kind of shocked that I started a YouTube. I think you were maybe one of the creators that I was like, you know what? I'm going to say some of this shit I need to get out. And, it does kind of spiral. It's like, okay, now that I have the platform, I'm going to say some other shit that I realized I haven't thought of yet. But overall, I tried to stay when I got married, I pretty much went social media less. I just wanted to focus on my marriage and my life, and social media was a big distraction to a newly married couple. I didn't think it was a good thing. Yeah, but we've been together almost 11-ish years, something like that. So the bond gets stronger and stronger, and you trust each other more, and now I use it for something completely different than I would have utilized it. And it's this is me and these are my friends, and this is my personal thing. So I do prefer utilizing it in that way over me just having my own personal account. For me, it's just too much. It's too much. But overall, just trying to stay focused on the mission, relocating, building a team, getting guys to train together. I have a little training group here, but it's such a mix up of young single dudes and a few married guys in their 30s, and then some old dudes that just want to get out and shoot more. And there's not a whole lot of organization to it, but I feel like when you at least have access to those guys, you can reach out to them individually and see who's about doing certain stuff together, which is great. Definitely crazy thinking about leaving a state that I've lived in basically my whole life and going to restart everything somewhere else. But YouTube has been a big help, getting to know people and where they're at in their region, what it's like over there, getting an idea of certain places before I get there, and building these relationships through YouTube has been freaking awesome. I obviously no one can super chat on my channel. You guys know I am fully demonetized due to things that I've talked about. And so yeah, sorry if you guys can't super chat and the chat's going fast. So if anybody has any questions for Risky, see what you guys got. Lynchpin's in the building. What's up, Lynchpin? By the way, Risky, you got any goon beams?
Yeah, he said, I remember when CHRISKY was doing a podcast from the local Chili's bathroom. Yeah, dude. I had, man.
I think I started following you and you were only at like 6. I don't even know if you were in the 10,000s yet. It went quick.
Dude, I wish some of the things I tried to make happen would have taken place. I tried multiple times to buy different commercial buildings to record from with like antennas on top, like that were former radio stations, so I could broadcast AM all the time, like schizo shit round the clock. And it didn't work out. Like, I literally put a bid on multiple commercial properties, and yeah. And then I went and I sent a bunch of emails and tried to reach out to like Long John Silver's and all these places to be their spokesperson. Can you imagine?
Bro, that'd be hilarious.
Dude, I was so relatable in the way I sent them. I was like, listen, your marketing is terrible. You're bleeding out money. Like, let me come in. It'll be a little weird at first. However, you will gain attention, right? It might not be exactly what you want, but if you're throwing up Hail Marys, like, I'm your guy. Look at my content. And I left like links to it. And none of them ever contacted me. And even the hockey mask company, I spoke to a woman at the front desk, and then I actually spoke, I think it was like, not the CEO, but it was some high up of the Milek hockey mask company. And he's like, yeah, let me see your content. And I tell him, and I hear him looking it up, and he's like, yeah, we'll call you back. And he just fucking hung up on me. And I was like, oh, they're in Rhode Island.
Bro, you know what would be classic is if they made another like the original Ninja Turtle movies where it wasn't cartoons, it was all
I could be Casey Jones.
And you happen to be Casey Jones.
Yeah.
Awesome. That would be classic right there. Hilarious, dude. I think we do need our own network though. Like I've brought it up to some couple people, and I'm just like, Warrior Poet Society has his own app. I mean, like his own videos. Like I do feel like that is the wave. Like the initial wave is like, okay, let's see who gets big on YouTube, but then it's like you reach a cap unless you want to do certain things, or you want to read off. I forget who. I think it was Hop and them talking about it, but just like the whole Sonoran Desert Institute shit, and like just having to promote certain shit. That's like, okay, how can we do this and have our own network and have no ceiling?
So I can speak to that. So I was with Leviathan Group.
Yes,
and
that was really quick, right? Like you were with them, and how did they not be able to save your channel?
So I had heard about Leviathan Group, and the only thing I ever heard is people were like, "You're selling out if you go to Leviathan." That's the only thing I heard. This is years ago, right? And don't think much about it. I went through the process of getting affiliate links because I wanted to. It was told to me through other content creators, other YouTubers in the gun sphere, if you want to get relationships with companies, so they'll send you products to review, right? And a lot of people at face value, they'll hate that I even said that. And it's not, but you have to understand, if you're making YouTube videos, I wasn't doing it to make money from it. I wanted to make videos, and I have a finite amount of money. So if a gun company will let me pick out a gun of my choosing that I can review, even if I have to send it back, I can make content on that thing that I can otherwise not get in my hands. So if we don't have access to that, you got to work with what you can, right? And if you think your YouTube channel is growing, or you think it has a chance to, do that. There's a lot of content creators, I'm going to be real, a lot of content creators out there, and they desperately need that money. And they're solely going after that. And they're easy to spot. We could probably name off fucking 20 of them right now. But in my case, I was just like, hey, I had a PSA rifle. I wanted to do more builds. And I thought, hey, who would even give me the opportunity at my small channel? PSA might. So if I can talk to them, maybe negotiate to where I can get some sort of cool rifle that I don't have and do some content on it that's relevant to my channel. And I wanted to get from them one of the PSA Ks because I had only had an AK a long time ago, and I sold it.
And so I went through that, got with them.
You had the PSA AK, didn't you?
Yeah, the GF3. And I didn't shoot it like, I didn't put fucking thousands of rounds through it, but I put over 1,000 rounds through it, over 1,000 rounds, probably like 1,200 at the most. And it was fine for me. And then I saw a video. And so here's the thing. People are like, you're fucking terrible, whatever. Like, I get everyone wants the long-term 40,000 round review. But if you're not doing this or have the money to dump into it, like nobody can afford to put 40,000 rounds through a fucking PSA AK, right? For your video for free that you watch. Nobody can do that unless they have a sponsorship or they do some company or have access to it. Like, so people want that. It's not realistic. You might get 1 or 2 videos, and it could be argued those are the only videos that need to be put out. I could see that. However, most people will never shoot that. Most people won't shoot the 1,200 that I put through it. They'll put 300 or less, maybe in 10 years, and it'll sit and collect dust and rust in somebody's closet before being sold on arms list.
For sure.
That's what happens. So to the real guy watching YouTube, it's like, okay, let's do that. And then randomly, some guy from Leviathan calls me. And I'm like, oh. And I'm like, you're really from Leviathan? He's like, yeah. And he like gave me information. And we talked, and I was like, he's like, do you have any questions? And I was like, yeah. I was like, everyone says I'm selling out if I go to you. I was like, why? I was like, what control do you have over my content? And they said, you have full editing control. You can turn down any offer you want, right? And then there's other stipulations, like if you don't create videos for so long, or the contract's terminated, or the length of the contract, stuff like that. But they have zero editing control over it.
Nice.
Zero. So at the end of the day, people are like, it's selling out. And maybe it might be because you get stuff and you're kind of funneled into a different way that other people are. But I could literally, and I did many times, say no. And a lot of the times you might shill for, and I'll say it, you're shilling for an ad, because if the ad has nothing to do with the video, you're just putting out an ad. And I've done it. I'm guilty of it. Guilty as charged.
For sure. Let's
if
do
I
one
could go
right
back
now.
In time.
Shout out to Goonbeam. Goonbeam is the best flashlights on the market. Shout out to my boy Goonbeam, and shout out to Definition Knives. Where's my Definition knife? It's somewhere on me. It's probably in my jacket. But we, support the dudes who are in our chats who run companies and do that kind of stuff. Anyways, back to the scheduled program.
But if I could go back in time, maybe I wouldn't do the ad reads, but you don't know what you don't know. And I hadn't gone through the fucking Reddit posts and read everyone's thoughts on everything as it pertains to GunTube, right? I said, hey, I can't believe people are watching these videos. How do I make more videos? How can I do this logistically? Because this seems like it's somewhat successful for what I thought it could do.
For sure.
How do I continue to do this? So I went in with them because I could say no at any time. And then they told me one of the only reasons they contacted me was because the numbers were right, because of how I was kind of like not abusing, but utilizing the algorithm to my benefit. And a lot of it had to do with, I was talking about political stuff because, and I said this on my channel before, I'm not some 20-year Navy SEAL. I'm not a retired first sergeant or sergeant major. I have one enlistment of a regular infantryman under my belt, right? So for me to sit there
some of the biggest thing is the training and that you go through. That's where the credibility really comes from.
But my point was, I can only talk about what I know about guns and tactics to the maximum level that an E4 that got out of a 4-year contract as an infantryman could talk about, right? Like it's limited in scope. Otherwise, I'd be getting out of my lane.
What was your MOS?
I was an 11 Bravo. Nice. So it's like 11B 1P.
Cool.
Is what it's called.
Somebody asked in the chat earlier, so I figured I'd ask.
So my whole thought was, if I was to continue to put out content, I need something else to talk about, to where when I can put out a relevant gun video, I will, or a tactic video, I will. Until I come up with something relevant, I'll talk about the current events and correlate it somehow to like my worldview of how I put out stuff on the channel. So they liked that. And then I did that for a while and it was fine. And I think it helped having them in my corner. And then
I think I got a random strike for an old video, and in that video, oddly enough, I was bashing Trump in the video. So it's like, of all the videos they could have chosen, it's like, why the fuck did you choose this? I literally openly mocked the rules and broke them in other videos. Openly. I would go through and I would say things that I know are banned just because I was like, fuck you, just delete it. I have, if this deletes, if this channel gets nuked, my world is not over. I don't rely on this,
For sure.
It is what it is.
Sure.
So that happened, and then I was like, let me go back and just fucking delete some of these videos that are super sketchy. And then I deleted some of those, and then I was like, I couldn't upload for like 2 weeks, and then it's like day 10, or excuse me, it'd been like 10 days, and I'm like getting close to being able to upload. I had videos in the pipeline. They hit me with a second strike, and I was like, what the fuck? I didn't do anything, and I already had one strike in my log from back like months ago from talking about pedo, or I shouldn't have said that then. Your fucking video.
It's all good.
Lowered. Yeah. Talking about the lists. Right. And so at that point, everything got nuked, and I made the mistake. So they didn't give me the reason on the second strike that I had while I was already on probation, because I couldn't upload anything else. So they went back and struck me for something from before. Yeah. And I appealed it. They didn't respond to me. I told Leviathan, and then Leviathan had a lawyer, and he got involved. And then here's the mistake I made. I made a new account. Well, actually, I had like 4 accounts at the time.
Yep.
I had them set up differently.
So you did the workaround thing.
Yeah. They nuked. I had an official backup channel. And they nuked that one at the same time. So they nuked my main
totally
one, the official
nuked,
one.
Or just demonetized and took the video down.
Like you can't log in.
Wow. Yeah, I haven't had that.
Like you're gone. Yeah, like it says error fetching data, and you can't even.
So you gotta hit the Gmail to sign in, and it's like no. Nope.
And then it gives you an error fetching data, and you can't move past that. Yeah.
Damn. So shout out to Drew in Oregon for sending a Cash App, donating to the channel. Drew, if you got a question for Risky, your question is top priority, brother. Appreciate you.
But so they nuked that, and then I made the mistake of uploading from one of the other channels, and I guess somewhere in the terms of service, it's like if you were deleted and you upload more, like you're fucking done, son. And it took months for me to find that out. So there was back and forth from the lawyer and everything until the guy was like, bro. So what we tried to do is they shouldn't have banned me without giving me the reason. They never gave me the reason.
Yeah, they've done that to mine too.
They actually did that to Kit Badger, and the lawyer who represented me represented Kit Badger, who got his account back. And I conversed with him before I wrote my official appeal, and he told me maybe some pointers of what to do and not to do. And it didn't help. And then they came back like a month later saying it's because I uploaded videos from another account. And I shouldn't, and that was against the rules, so I'm gone. And I've uploaded, so now, as of last week, I've had 9 YouTube accounts, and my latest one just got deleted.
The Risky CHRISKY was the latest one, right?
It was some variation of that with the wording, yeah.
Dude, so you saw my channel intro, and my channel was doing fine. Like, I was playing the intro. As soon as I posted the channel intro as like a regular video, boom, demonetized.
Yeah, I don't. Again, I think it's just I'm blacklisted, not because I did something super crazy. It's just like they just said, "Final straw, motherfucker! Like, quit uploading from different accounts. You'll never have another account." Yeah,
yeah, that's wild. Yes, the code now is PDF files. Is the new code?
I like that. Okay, that works.
Yeah, PDF files. Do a PSR intro. That's what everybody keeps telling me, that I should just start a new account and do a PSR intro. But I like my intro. If I start a new account, I got an account out there. Go check out Wolverine's Outpost. That might eventually become a main channel. Let's see. Yes. I will talk to him about that. Dark shot me a text. But we'll find out. He may have tried that already. Let's see. Hell yeah, me and my small team do. Facts. Let's see. You got any questions for me, man? I'm over here drilling you with questions.
I'm good. Keep going.
All
I'm
right.
fine.
Let's see. What made you first pick the mask? Like, what was it that you picked the mask?
Dude,
like,
that's a great
this is
story.
it.
That's a great
All right.
story. It's a tragic story. I don't know. A lot of people don't know this. I've said it before, but a lot of people, they're not privy. So once, I knew this from one of my old jobs, is if I can have other content creators comment and subscribe and like on my channel, then it boosts me. It's like an exponential boost in the algorithm, because that other people will see that and they'll like it, and then they'll subscribe because it'll be like, this guy commented on this video, boom, done. Or he shared this video on, fucking admin shared a picture of Risky Crisky, boom, done, right? Like that sort of shit. Yeah. And so one of my, I don't want to say tactics, my strategy was stay so relevant that the other content creators don't have a choice but to sort of see me every once in a while. Mm-hmm. And that sort of recognition then led to, you know, collaborations, and we all, not we all, but a lot of us DM each other and have each other's cell phone numbers and stuff like that. And Matt Hoover contacted me, CRS Firearms. Nice. And this was before he got arrested and everything. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And, or was it?
Did he get arrested?
No, I think he's in jail right now.
Oh, CRS. Yeah. Free CRS.
Yeah. Okay. I don't remember.
Free CRS.
I think he might have already been charged with it. I don't remember, but I forget why, but he watched one of my videos and reached out, and he was like, and he helped me a lot, but on the YouTube end of it. And I really appreciate him. And again, free CRS, regardless of what you think, like, he should not be in jail. No. Or regardless of what you think of him personally or his content, he should not be in jail for what he did. He didn't do anything wrong. But he was like, he would help me with my thumbnails and stuff. He's like, dude, I like your videos, but he's like, you need to format it like this or edit it like this so that you give them a little taste of the video, and then you get right to the point, and the audience, they're not going to watch if you do this and that and XYZ, right? And he's like, if you do this, he goes, test it and see. And then I tell other content creators this. He said, you suffer from a case of fucking retarded thumbnails. And I was like, what? And he's like, if you just fix your thumbnails, you'll boost your views tremendously. He's like, because as long as people want to click on it, you give them just enough information to where they're curious to see what else, or it looks so cool they can't help but click on it. Yeah. He's like, do that. And he's like, you do clickbait. He goes, you do that one too many times, people will lose trust and they'll never click it again. But he goes, if you give them just a little intrigue, or it's just cool enough, you'll get them. And so I realized
LARPing Live. I miss LARPing Live. LARPing Live was dope on Spotify. I can't lie. Those were good.
I thought about doing another thing, calling it something else. Yeah, I thought about that. Taking a different approach to making a podcast that other people don't do. A totally different format of it.
Do it.
Yeah, exploiting it fully. Yeah.
You should. J954, was that you, J954, that shot a Cash App, bro? If you got a question, go ahead with your question. I'll ask it for you.
It was Matt Hoover, CRS, who said, hey man, because at the time I was wearing ski masks, or I just wouldn't put my head cropped into the video. And he was like, if you find a mask or some face covering that you can use, he goes, then that, like, when people see that, it'll be like a calling card. So like whenever and you can merchandise it later. He's like, if you want to make money, he's like, you can sell stuff with the mask on there and they'll associate it with you. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's a great idea. So we talked about a fuckload of different masks. I had so many ideas. Like I'll find it later. I have a note with all the ones, and some of them were fucking outrageous. Nice. And we settled on the Wayne Grow mask from Heat, because I was like, that's just badass enough. And they're so cheap. They're like $30 on Amazon Prime, and I can get them and I can paint them and have like 5 of them, you know, for the cost of any of these other masks. And so, yeah, it was Matt Hoover's idea.
That's awesome, man. That's crazy that it was his idea.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard that story. Jay, you got a question? Shoot your question, man. I don't know if Drewski's got a question. I know he was asking where to follow Drew. I'll send you his Instagram and a link to his X account. He does have. I don't know if he uses Instagram too much, but he definitely is on X and Instagram.
I check Instagram. I get overloaded with messages, so a lot of time I just look at them. I don't even respond because half the time it's just somebody likes something or just asks something so asinine. I'm like, this is going to be an hour back and forth if I answer this, and it's just not worth it.
Yep. No,
but I'm on X, so if you need me on there, yeah, that's where I'm at.
I have CRS's family's Cash App on the screen too. If anybody wants to donate to CRS's family, man, help them out. I know it's been tough on his family, him being in jail, not having a dad in the home to raise their kids for the last few years, to supply and provide for their family. So if anybody can donate to CRS, definitely shoot them a much larger. If you want to ask a question, shoot me 50 cents, you'll get a question. So, but if you got money to spare and you can help that family out, man, you definitely should. They definitely need help. Especially during the holidays, man. This is time for people to really reach out and help people. A lot of people said they started subbing to you after CRS gave you the shout out.
Yeah, we had some ideas on some funny videos, and I edited some stuff for him and vice versa, and I don't think it ever got out. But I have that on a hard drive somewhere. We haven't, and a video where he did my intro and I did his, some funny stuff.
J954, yo, RDR, what's your opinion on heavy hitter YouTube creators, Grantham, Mr. Guns and Gear, Guns and Gadgets, and being a Christian myself, I'm a big fan of Barrel and Hatchet channel. They're great. Yes, I absolutely love Barrel and Hatchet. I really, while I'm in Florida, I've been really wanting to get to train with him. I love that he puts videos out, like literally reading scripture and praying. Dude is just an awesome quality guy. You could tell there's not a fake bone in his body. At least that's the feel that I get. And big channels, Garantha, Mr. Guns and Gear. I mean, I'm not like a judgmental person unless you do something like highly questionable. Like even with the Grantham situation, like that's his own personal life, and I kind of don't feel that I should make any comments about it. Like I obviously don't support, anyone breaking up their family or being shysty to their wives. That kind of stuff is not cool. It's not Christian. But I mean, overall, like I don't go to him for spiritual advice. And I don't think a lot of people should go to certain people for spiritual advice. If you want to take some useful piece of information, take it and run with it, whatever. But like overall, just always know the kind of person you're dealing with. I think DMX had a quote. And obviously, rest in peace, DMX. I don't know what kind of dude he was, but let God be the judge. And his judgment.
DMX is dead.
You didn't know that?
What happened to him?
I think it was something to do with the Jabberwockies. And but he had a quote that used to say, "Expect a liar to lie to you. Expect whoever, when you know who they are and they've shown to you who they are, expect them to be themselves." That's one of the greatest quotes that, it's very simple and maybe a lot of people don't understand that, but yeah, I just expect people to be themselves. If they've never like expressed their faith and they've never like came out to make a statement on whether or not someone should do the right thing or not, then maybe they're not that kind of person that openly would do the right thing. And just be smart out there. But I mean, overall, I support people trying to make a living, and I support capitalism. I mean, until I find something that's better, I think capitalism is the greatest thing on earth. Lynchpin.supply, CHRISKY and I are neighbors. We have the same tree in our backyard. What about you? What do you think about big YouTube creators? Did I hit it on the head there? You got anything else you want to add to that? Maybe that was his question for you.
To be honest, I don't really think about them. I enjoy the memes. I'm not gonna lie, the memes are hilarious. But short of that, it's to your point.
If I listen to a Grand Thumb video, it's because I see a cool gun that I want more information on, right?
Yeah.
I I don't agree with all that, but who am I? I've made huge mistakes in my life before,
Yep.
so it is what it is, right? Just take everything with a grain of salt, and it's just the fucking internet, so it's not even real.
Straight up. I completely agree. CNT Designs, that's a great comment. The BBC dudes on the edge of the bed was hilarious. I could have lived without ever seeing that meme, tell you the truth. I truly could have. I don't know why every time someone sent it, it was like disguised as something else. But yeah, let's see. CHRISKY, man. Do you miss YouTube? Do you sometimes wish you could still make videos? And if you do, like, have you ever thought about putting long form content out on X?
It's not that I miss it per se. Like going out into the woods in full kit and talking to my phone on a tripod it's weird, you know?
Yeah.
It's a little cathartic to go out there.
It came quite natural to you, though, I must say.
Years of cold calls. That's what did it. Years of cold calling and
Yeah,
bullshitting negotiations and shit like that. I don't miss editing it. That shit stressed me out, editing it in the upload process, and then questioning last minute as it's uploaded, as people are viewing it and commenting on it. It kind of stressed me out a little bit. I do miss being able to comment.
My favorite thing you did was the helicopters.
Dude, so that's sort of like half true, man. That shit ain't normal. The amount of air traffic that's out when we're out there, it is not normal during the day for it to be like that. So it's kind of like, it's a running joke me and a few of my friends have at the different properties I go to. It's like they don't fucking come out until we're out there. And then so we just all feel extra paranoid because like, what the fuck?
Is that true, Tim Harper? Missouri just introduced $1,000 bounty on illegal aliens, payable when they get deported. It's on. Wow. Hopefully that's true. If not, everything on this show is for entertainment purposes. Take it with a grain of salt. May or may not be true. On our stream, we put out information that we come across, whether or not it's true or not, to do your own investigation. But that's very interesting if it's something that actually exists. Respect everyone who's ever served in service in some capacity of any kind. Absolutely, Drewski. Absolutely. Even, when it comes down to our police and our rescue men and our firefighters and all that, man, like our society would be shot without men of service. I did drop the link in our signal chat, so I don't know if any of the fellas might hop in. But let's get back to some of the crazy shit, man. Like, what do you think the system is basically like built upon? Like, do you think the internal lies, like is it just an army? This is something I think about all the time. I'm like, how the hell do they run this many operations? And there's not more people like whistleblowers and shit. I feel like even with NASA, I feel like what's his name? The drunk Buzz Aldrin. Kind of sometimes said like we did not go to the moon, right? Like he had that interview with the little girl and shit. Like I feel like sometimes things come out, but I do wonder, like you've been through military training and like government training, and like do you just feel that the culture alone is what keeps people from speaking out?
I think that most people involved in it are so compartmentalized that they don't realize what's going on, and they're fed lies and they're kept in the dark. And I think a lot of people keep other people in the dark, not even realizing what they're doing. And then towards the top of the pyramid of who knows what, then I think in the agencies, when you get real compartmentalized into the government agencies, I think then NDAs come into play, right? Like, and we know that they follow up on these things. We know that agents will go and sift through your trash to make sure you're not doing shit, and they'll monitor your phones if you have certain clearances and listen out for certain keywords and websites. We literally like, I know people who have that, and they've kind of discussed of how you're found, right? How they find out that you're talking about things, because only a certain number of people are in on that, right? So it's fairly easy to find these keywords and things come up. So I think it's very few people even see the ultimate motivating thing. And I think there's a lot of aligned interests, and that's where I think the majority of it is. It's compartmentalized, but they have aligned interests. And it's through it's bureaucracy helps that, and the central bank system, and the way NATO and the EU and all that works, it also helps. But I think the biggest thing is it is evil, right? Because no one person could organize this. It's not possible. It's taken hundreds and thousands of years to get to where we're at now with the structure that they have in place. And I think it's Satan. I think it's demons and fallen angels and a whole Nephilim and all this shit combined into one somehow that I don't have all the answers to. And I think at some level, whatever it is, whether they disguise themselves and say we're fucking aliens, right, or something like that, or if a few of them know what's up, and a majority of them are fooled by thinking it's aliens, which I think that's more realistic. Maybe the people like Buzz Aldrin probably saw the one that's not, he saw something a little bit too real, and everyone else is so fucking frightened for their life that they will never betray whatever that thing is or those things are. And I think that really is at the heart of it.
Pit, the pit of the dogmen that they have in the cage that will feed you to this thing.
Like Admiral Byrd's Lost Diary type shit.
Yeah.
Yes, that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely got some real deep stuff they don't want us to know about. And that's why this progression, I think Revelation hit it on the head. I know people have been like, yeah, all right, let's say Trump is a legitimate, wholesome, really wants to fix America, not in any dark circles anywhere.
I need a Coors Light.
Go ahead, grab one. Linchpin, Coors Light. But let's say Trump is like legit. What do you think would be the first thing that he really should do? What do you think would be the biggest step in the right direction? Do you think
day one, first thing, I release the Epstein list and the Diddy list and whatever other lists, and I make all the files public except for the ones that put children, their faces, and CP and stuff out there, and I blur just enough so it's real. Yep. And I show it, and I broadcast it publicly on the fucking TV. I do that day
dark
one,
web video,
and then day two. Yep, and then day two, I fucking I go through and ransack all the bullshit departments and agencies. And so week one is just devastating to the system. Everything exposed, everything nullified. Yep, and then by the end of the week, people are being rounded up. Yep, absolutely, 100%.
All right, so that's step one. What's step two? For obviously that's just cleaning out the swamp. That's de-clean the swamp.
Quick and fair trials, but fast. Tribunal. Yes, very quick. And then immediate, within, and it might even be in week one. As we're dismembering the IRS or dismantling the IRS and all that. Gold back. We're going gold backed. And then we're pulling out all of our bullshit from other countries. We're withdrawing from NATO. We're withdrawing from all this other shit. And we're kicking all the fucking aliens out of our country that came illegally. And yeah, dude, I mean, realistically, that's where we start. And then I'm opening them up to public funding. Everyone can visit Antarctica. We're going to be taking satellite images of all of Antarctica, and releasing all NASA footage and everything. And we're all storming Area 51 together, all of us, all of America at once.
So full exposure of every dark secret.
Every single thing. Yeah, dude. All the
PDF
files.
Said. That's
everything.
What Cash Patel said.
And it's going to be
all coming.
It's going to be an overload. It's a lot at once. I understand that. But, what a fucking week it would be, right? Best week of your life type shit.
That would be like people falling out of the street in the Matrix because they're just being unplugged.
I just want to go. If you know, if anyone ever, if we get to the point where we can go to an Antarctic voyage, please just fucking take me. Please
Hell
take me.
yeah.
I just want to go.
Definitely.
You know, it might be 20 or 30 years from now, but somebody that listens to this, remember, like if you go to Antarctica, hey, I wonder if that Risky Crisky guy's still around. Find me. I want to fucking go. I do want to go. I'll quit
Hell
my
yeah.
job. I'll do whatever. I'll go.
Facts. Me too. I don't know if you ever checked out Wits It Gets It. I sent you, I think, his YouTube channel one time. But dude is a really good channel. If you guys ever check out Wits It Gets It, and apparently there's some like they're paying for him to go to Antarctica, and I don't think he would lie about what he's going to see there. I don't know if he's going to have access to enough information because, like, I believe you can only go to like this little peninsula that's at the bottom of South America. However, he's a very pronounced flat earther, and he's headed to, I think, with the team of a few other dudes going to Antarctica. So
I also want to go
We'll
to
see.
the North Pole. I want to have a voyage
Me
there.
too.
I really think there's going to be some tremendous shit.
Black Rock,
What is it called?
Agartha.
No, it's like an event that takes place in the Bible in Revelation, and everyone goes, and it's what the fuck is it called? Oh man, my buddy's. I'm gonna have to ask him later, but I think there's some weird shit going on up there too.
Yeah, me too. Dead Center.
Yep.
Have you heard of? Yeah, there's a mountain. I heard there's like a giant black magnetic mountain. It's called Black Rock. There's another name for it, but I think that's where the name does stem from.
Oh, day three, we're nuking CERN. That's what we're doing on day 3. We're nuking it. We're all going to tune in. It'll be a live broadcast. We're going to send 10 nukes in succession, the biggest ones. We'll make fireworks out of it. We won't even evacuate it. We'll just let all the people that are going there, doing the sacrifices. If you didn't get the memo,
the tunnels,
you're gone. Yep.
Yo, there was a
day 4. We're excavating the tunnels from Disneyland.
Yeah, Disneyland's got to go. All that stuff. See, I don't think we could ever go that far. I don't think we can.
Day 5, we're fully excavating Göbekli Tepe, all of it.
Who was it? Sean Ryan just dropped a quick 6-minute video that said something insane I saw while I was on here. And we might be able to play it because we're not worried about monetization. Maybe it's Sean Ryan clips. But it was something like the biggest. Damn, it won't come up. Are they already shadow banning it? Because it came out like 6 hours ago. All right. So after you expose all this, what would you do for the system, man? Like, what would we do? Like, we definitely need to get rid of federal income tax. We definitely need to restructure a lot of things within the government and society, like go back to states' rights and a limited government and all that stuff. But I don't know if I ever, even with Trump, like he's came out openly and been like, I
like the whole way Germany did things. Not don't misinterpret what I'm about to say. Okay, let me rephrase that. I like the way Germany pulled everyone up by the bootstraps economically. I like that. Everyone gets a house with 1 inch or 1 foot thick walls in it, right? There's no homeless people, right? Everyone gets a job. Everyone goes to work.
I want the 40
we're trimming the
acres
fat everywhere. Everywhere we're trimming the fat. We can still have some cops, but we're going to have way less of them, but we're going to pay them fucking $250,000 a year and train them like they're fucking special forces and trust them. And we'll vote on who the fucking cops are, right? Shit like, and I'm not saying that's the best way, but we don't have to abolish everything. Like we still need shit, but it's so fucking bloated. Like it's outrageous. If we can just help each other, there's so much money to go around that if we just stop blowing it,
What happened to Risky's mic?
I don't know. Cut out.
As soon as I added Dark, hold on, let me edit mic settings. There he is. Should be good. Risky? What'd you do, Dark?
But I don't know. I was just added.
Hold on one sec.
I would show my hands.
Risky. There we go. You there?
Stupid fucking phone.
All right. He's good. We're back.
Yo,
We added DLD After Dark and Tactical Muffin
Risky.
Top. Yo, I
What's up, man?
wanted to play this clip real quick, and then we'll get to introducing you guys. But Sean Ryan posted this video. It says, you know, the one chick that he has on who's like the CIA intel chick. I forget her name, Sarah Adams. But it says the upcoming attack on America official preview. Y'all want to check this out real quick?
Sure.
Yeah, I've seen it.
You've seen
Yeah,
it?
I saw it come up.
posted it in my Discord today.
I saw it come up on my feed, but I didn't watch it yet.
Risky, you saw it yet?
I have not seen it.
All right, let's see what this is about.
You posted something about the Pentagon getting pissed off at you and sending you an email that they don't appreciate you disseminating open source information and that you're not doing it through the proper channels. Former CIA officer, Libyan crisis before, during, and after the 9/11 attacks, counterterrorism analyst, targeter for the CIA, senior advisor on the Select Committee on Benghazi, NGO official working across multiple conflict zones, including Afghanistan, Ukraine, and Sudan, known to be 10% humanitarian, 90% warlord. We have a love-hate relationship.
So we are the ones on the ground getting the information. So it's obviously not classified channels, right? We're not going to foreign militaries. You know, we're not going to the intelligence community and getting this information. So it's publicly available, and we can basically share it with whomever we want because it's completely unclassified.
According to intelligence reports cited by international media, Hamza bin Laden, the son of Al-Qaeda chief Osama bin Laden, is alive and leading the terror outfit. International media reports suggest that Hamza is secretly running the Al-Qaeda from Afghanistan.
The last piece is they want this October 7th style attack in multiple places in Europe and then in the US. And that's the one that Scott talked to you about that we had, you know, in the AQ 2.0 book. But I realized he didn't give it to you when he was here.
Al-Qaeda 2.0, the upcoming attack on the United States and Europe unveiled.
The outlet said that the man dubbed the Crown Prince of Terror is hiding in northern Afghanistan under the constant protection of 450 snipers.
You know, these guys, I remember, I think it was you that posted a video of an Al-Qaeda training camp, and it was almost like a display. It looked like a well-done YouTube video of skills. Is that common?
Just
Yeah,
wait,
but
don't skip it.
So
That
that's,
was really,
yeah.
Do you think they're setting the stage here for like you said, another 9/11? Like, do you feel like maybe this is,
Look, bro, we did what we do best, which is furnish them with equipment and then stage a future attack. And we have armed and funded every single organization, outfit, nation, whatever that we've gone to war with. Always, we've always done.
Do y'all watch Monkey Works? You ever seen that channel?
Yeah, I watch Monkey Works.
So Monkey Works put out a video. I don't know if it's his most recent, but it's definitely in the last one or two videos he's put out. And I like his stuff because it opens up possibilities, right? It's nothing super specific, but it's just a lot to question, a lot of things to consider. And he made a compelling point to where I think a lot of these refugees, and especially it's been proven there was a few that got flagged that were priority, like people of interest that were like former Afghans, commandos and things like that coming through, and they're getting direct flights. And there's a lot of weird shit going on out near the Rockies. And he makes it, like I said, a compelling case. These people from Afghanistan are living at altitude, camping around, doing shit up in the mountains, out into the northwest of our country.
Being protected.
And they're putting a lot of birds in the air, like nuke sniffers around that area. And it's like, why would they be out there?
Dang.
Yep. So I fully think we're being set up 100% for another
100%.
attack. And again, that could be
It's not.
totally wrong. We could be looking at this and inferring information differently than it truly is on the ground. I don't know, but there's too many things going on at once for it to be fucking nothing.
How do you
It wasn't
pardon
like the first one?
How do you pardon Biden if we have an attack after 4 years of what we've seen with our border, and then we have an in-nation attack by a large amount of people? How does this not just backfire in a way?
The treasonous PDF files are pardoning other treasonous PDF files. When are we going to stop pretending that it's real and legitimate?
Bro, I literally just the other day was like, watch, he is going to pardon Fauci. He's going to pardon other people.
Yeah.
And doing it in a way that he is like preparing for, I'm just doing it because we feel Trump may, what was the word that they used? Like, for unfounded reasons, like for no good reason, go after his political opponents. I'm like, bro, were you not there when Fauci? Were you not there when Fauci, went through the whole AIDS thing? Were you not there when Fauci went through the whole, COOF thing? By the way, Red Dawn, it was J954 said he sent another Cash App. I didn't want you to miss that.
Jay, do you want me to ask the question that you put in the Cash App? The question is Leah Thompson or Jennifer Gray?
I don't know who any of these people are.
I know Leah Thompson is the dude who swam in the women's swimming thing.
The swimmer, the male swimmer.
He was a beautiful
Who's
one.
the other one? Which one's the other one?
Jennifer Gray. Isn't she an actress?
Who is that?
I think she's an actress.
Are we gonna devolve to F Mary Kill over here or what?
I don't know. I don't know where
I
this
just picked
question.
my hand. I'm out.
Yeah, I got it, Jay. I got it. If you got another question besides Leah Thompson or Jennifer Gray.
Risky, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Good, man. I miss you.
I miss you too.
Yo, since you're making the rounds, man, you definitely should do a DLD After Dark show. I gotta say.
I would be honored to have the Risky back on.
Yeah, I've been having a lot of asks. If we do that, let's do it in January or sometime.
I'm good with that. Whenever you'd like, my friend. You know what? We could do it totally random too, like in the middle of the freaking day. Just catch everyone off guard and just do something wild,
Mm-hmm.
Make it all about monkeypox.
Monkeypox, bro. They've gone to hell and high water with the amount of shit that they put in the news sometimes. It's like,
and what
let's just overwhelm them. Yeah, or what they put in the. Have you ever seen the documentary? I think it was on what's the name of that channel? It's kind of like Alex Jones's channel, but it's like a whole website, and it's called like What's in the Water. Y'all ever seen that one?
No,
I have not.
No.
Oh, it was like
seen What's in the Water.
Actually,
though.
wait. I might have. Yeah.
Brighteon. It's on Brighteon.com. I don't know if who's making all the background noise.
That's me. Let me mute this. I'm putting in fucking WeatherTech mats in my wife.
All right,
I thought Risky was breakdancing.
I love how I said it and then it was like silent. It's fine. But if y'all haven't ever checked out Brighteon.com, they got some pretty good information. And it was like about how the correlation between the spikes during the days of the COOF were like also correlated to this stuff that was happening in the water supply and things like that. I don't know if any of it's true, but it was definitely an interesting watch.
Bro, the reality is that if people knew what was in I mean, everyone knows like, oh, there's some fluoride and, there's some lithium. Dog. It is horrible. So much worse. First off, would you drink water that if someone handed you a glass and said, enjoy this refreshing beverage, there's only aluminum runoff and lithium in it? Like, even just those things, right? But it's so much worse.
I have a weird conspiracy that bottled water is almost the same exact thing
Absolutely.
as well.
Have you seen Tim Dillon's RFK impression? You should pull that up right now. Pull it up. There's if you type in Tim Dillon RFK, go down until you see a video. It's like 2 or 3 minutes long. You'll fucking laugh your ass off.
You know when
it's the best thing ever.
When someone's on the phone and they're like, what's it called? It's like Cyloning, where is like voice is going like in and out, and like it actually is very hard to listen to him. But
is it the 3-minute one or the 40-second one?
If go to the 3-minute one, it's worth it. I promise you.
It's like, I agree with you.
And the ending is the best.
I find this very hard to listen to, sir.
Hey, I want to walk it back to that video you were doing with Sean Ryan. This is like why I started my channel. If you have, I posted it in the back chat, the book, The Day of Wrath by the dude who wrote 1 Second After. It's been out for about 10 years. I read this / listen to this book a lot. And it's basically a play-by-play of the terrorists dropping down every single state, 6 to 10 dudes. You should give that a listen. It's exactly what Sean Ryan's talking about, dude.
I got it pulled up. I do think even if that does happen, I just have a feeling that our government is gotta play in it. And not that like the whole government, someone within the government, there's probably dark forces that are double agents that work for private corporate, like private. I don't know if you even want to call them contractors. I mean, at the point where you're getting paid, there probably is no contract. The contract is sit down at the black couch type deal. But you know, I definitely think that there's greater forces at hand.
It is the literal devil. It is like actually Satan.
All right, let's check out this.
You're going to learn. You're going to learn whether you like it or not. You will learn. You're going to learn. The milk that we have is poison. There's poison milk, and what we're going to do about the milk, we're going to have raw milk for the babies. Imagine waking up in a camp, drinking raw milk, and listening to the sound of Robert F. Kennedy's voice. On the speaker.
That's hot, bro. That's hot.
Good morning. Good morning.
He does it great.
Good morning, everybody. We're excited to start the day. We have a very special presentation being given by Roseanne starting at 10 a.m. I know Thanksgiving's coming up. People are going to be upset. People are going to be upset. I'm going to handcuff members of my family, and at gunpoint, we are going to listen to Robert F. Kennedy's book, The Real Anthony Fauci. Gun to their head, like this. At the Center for Disease Control. I hope they let RFK loose. I hope they let RFK loose. I hope he executes the CEO of Yum Brands on national television. I hope RFK uses the military to close down Pizza Huts because they're using fake cheese. The most interesting thing about the next 4 years might be letting RFK loose. Just let him loose. Put RFK and Roseanne on a tank and let them go through the countryside. That's what we want to see.
Blank check.
That's what we need to see.
We do, though.
Just RFK completely untethered. Go get him, Bobby, Trump says. Go get him. RFK's just in the Entenmann's factory. Deporting immigrants. Throwing pound cake on the floor. This is poison. It's poison. You're killing people here. Why are you killing people? He just goes in. He asks like a 19-year-old hostess at Chili's, why are you killing people with the triple dipper? You know what's in the triple dipper? But that's our country now. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's pretty fucking exciting. And
that was classic.
Damn.
Yo,
Hey,
J954 sent another Cash App to ask a question. He said, "Hey y'all, are rifles like Knights, LMT, Blackout Defense worth the money if you train all the time?" How do you guys feel about this? I think, bro, I'm cool with the BCM and Geisley. That's as high as I ever want to go, and I feel like that's as high as I ever need to go. But I mean, LMTs are the shit. They are the shit. Knights armament is the shit. I don't know
if you
about
train all
Blackout.
the time, if you train all the time and have the money, fucking do it. Do whatever you want.
Facts.
As long as you're going to get use out of it. Otherwise, I mean, or you just love it so much because it's so cool and you got thousands of bucks laying around. Like, if you're going to use it, get the best shit you can afford.
For sure.
Yeah, I would ask, like, what would your idea of training all the time be? Like, frequency, like Risky was saying earlier,
5,000 rounds a month.
Yeah, like dudes aren't going to run 40,000 rounds through a PSA AK. It just doesn't happen, right? And the dudes that do run 40,000 rounds through a PSA AK aren't searching on YouTube to watch someone run 40,000 rounds through a PSA AK. So, like, I would ask the question of, like, what is, like, training a lot, and ask yourself, have you ever broken an AR? Like, have you run an AR to the point that it stops working? And if the answer is no, then likely whatever you're running is probably adequate for the pace that you're running, as long as it's reliable, right? Because let's be real, most dudes don't even have their optics sighted in. Most dudes aren't, running decent equipment. A lot of dudes are running airsoft shit on their guns. For me personally, BCM and the Geisley Super Duty are like my glory guns. And that Geisley Super Duty is next level, and that shit's not cheap either. But if you're gonna put, like, just my personal opinion, stay away from Daniel Defense. Other people have had
good experiences.
Other people have had completely different experiences. But if you're gonna,
I think they are not worth the money. Daniel Defenses are, for what they're putting into their guns, they're just not.
It is
the barrel is the best thing they have. The best thing that they have in their gun is the barrel.
Everything else is mil spec shit with a paint job. If you're gonna spend $1,800 to $2,500, get a fucking BCM. You can build a BCM for way less than $1,800. But if you're gonna spend $1,800 to $2,500, get a Geisley Super Duty, and you will literally never purchase another rifle.
For real.
Dude, these guys talk way, way more on the rifles and stuff. I'm on the other end of the spectrum. I'm like tactical FUD. Dude, I just run PSA Sabres. I just run them for a couple of years, trade them off, get another one. That's what I do. I don't put that much rounds. Maybe 2 mags a month, tops.
Yeah, or buy multiple. I mean, I just think having more is better. And I definitely, what I mentioned to Risky the other night was, like, your ammo, if you have a freaking Knights armament, bro, you better have 10,000 rounds. I never want to walk in someone's house, they got a Knights and they don't have 10,000 rounds minimum.
The problem,
you should have 50,000.
The problem with Knights,
I preach. Sorry, I want to cut you off. Dude, the super tactical market run and gun is so fucking cool, and that's what gets all the clicks and shit. But I'm like the dude who's like, dude, do you have a fucking 1,000 pounds of rice?
Yeah, for real.
Do you have a year's worth of food for everybody? Do you actually know what a year's worth of food looks like?
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm at.
And
water,
how is it going bad?
Water's
rotating
hard
it out?
shit,
Are you canning?
Yeah.
Dude,
I'm with you though. If you got the money though, they are nice to have, but I definitely don't think anyone really needs to go higher than a Super Duty or a BCM. I think you're going to get your money's worth.
Honestly, I'm in Nebraska, so I mean, anybody who's rolling up in a cornfield, I'm probably rocking a fucking bolt action anyway, bro. Honestly,
with a thermal.
Yeah, that's what I do. That's good coyote hunting. So if I can't take it with a coyote rig, I'm probably fucked.
Shotguns are excellent. I feel like people forgot about shotguns. I mean, bro, look, we were just talking on my live stream the other day. Look what a standard 2.75 inch or 3 inch, 2 3/4 or 3 inch slug does to a level 4 plate, bro.
I don't know if you heard Risky say this the other day, but he has a Super Duty rail cut for a fixed front sight post.
Oh, nice. That's fire.
Yeah, got a little space gun action in the works.
Nice, dude. That's dope. Hold on. What was it? Did you cut it or?
Yeah,
dude,
that's gangster. That's what's up.
I've seen Tim Harper cut 2 rails and freaking weld them together, and they've come out. It comes out perfect. Like,
bro,
perfect.
That's dope.
That's very special. Are we talking JB Weld or
No, real welding, real welding.
Yeah,
And
dude.
then sand it.
I took an MP5 handguard and I put that shit on my 22 Chiappa little Badger. I like stupid guns. I got so many stupid guns, bro.
That was one of the things I used to love about Crisky's videos is he had very unconventional. It wasn't like GunTube where you turn it on and they're running stock guns to tell you about the review of it. Like he was like, "This is my build, and this shit is for me," and then go into why and everything. I loved that. I thought those were some of the best videos.
Risky made me pull out my GI 20s again. I love laying prone with those bad boys.
Dude, 20s are where it's at, man. 20s are epic. I just also carry 45 round magazines sometimes too. It's a vibe, right? It's like, and I'm not
40 with a +5 on it.
40 with a +5, one of the pipe, 46 rounds in that bitch.
Sometimes those are fun.
Nice.
Yo, Crisky, can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Over the since YouTube castrated your channel, has your EDC changed at all? And what are you carrying nowadays? Not just like your handgun, but like your whole thing, like knife, flashlight, like what's your whole EDC like pocket dump kind of thing?
I haven't changed much. I still carry a Glock 19. Try to have a dot on it. Try to have a light on it. Appendix, and then I carry a Spyderco knife. Just a small, the micro wallet from Special Operations Equipment because it's small, fits in my front pocket.
Nice.
I keep my keys on a rated carabiner because I might. Well, I'll tell you this. So when I in the fire service, you can branch off into different specialties if you want to. So one of the things that I do is rescue stuff, and especially out at where my station is, that's like what I really enjoy doing there. So a lot of times we'll have rope, just a shit ton of rope, hundreds and hundreds of feet. So if you have a little carabiner on your front belt loop, you can route the rope through there and funnel it into the bag real quick. So I keep it on a carabiner, and then I keep a you know what a rescue meat or a rescue tool is? I think it's a rescue meat tool.
Rescue me tool. Isn't that the shit with like the glass breaker and the
Yeah, it's like it's real small. It's got a seatbelt cutter and a glass breaker. I keep one of those on there.
Nice. On the carabiner.
Yeah, I like to keep it on my front because
I keep mine.
If you ever get trapped in the vehicle and it goes into water, you're gonna be scrambling.
Mine's hanging from the mirror.
You already have a glass breaker in your appendix, though. I'm just kidding.
True, but there's no seatbelt cutter in it.
Yeah, it's true. You have to blast a few holes. Could you imagine discharging that mofo in a closed vehicle underwater?
Yeah, I would do it without hesitation.
Of course.
Yeah, modern frontiersman joining us.
Moderna.
What's up, dogs?
What up?
What's up, Modern?
Not much. Just got home from work.
Nice.
I've been out there freezing my ass off all day.
I wish I knew what that was like.
What, work?
Yeah. I got fired on Monday, and yeah. I start a new job next month, so but yeah, it sucks.
When you whip your pee-pee out in public, that's what happens, bro.
I told him, I said, "Merry fucking Christmas to you, fuck faces."
That's a nice knife there, Red Dawn. What you got?
This is the Definition Knives Boyd. Very nice. It's the green. It's the green version of the DK1.
I got the Definition Knives Boyd right here.
You
do? Dude, I'm holding out for the Red Dawn readiness, black and red, bro.
It's coming. It's coming. I also got the DK1 right here. Risky. I need to get one of these out to you, bro.
Yeah, I'm always accepting free knives.
Of course. Take here. I'll text you over the link and just let me know which one you like, and then I'll just charge it to the game.
Risky, have you had a goon beam before, or got to mess with a goon beam?
Yeah, I got I got an IR weapons light one.
Nice. The TLR1 footprint.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Or no, it's I think it's technically it's like the
rifle light or handheld?
ProTac body.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Sweet.
Goonbeam, bro. Goonbeam like changed my life.
You know you can put the adapter on there and run a Surefire cap on it.
I did not know that. That's cool.
You're welcome.
Also, you can get the assault light, 110,000 candela, bro.
Yeah,
Mod Light thought they were cool with the 100,000 candela light. Goonbeam was like, okay, check this out.
Cloud dropped a new light today.
Does Goonbeam have any like professional series hand lights?
Yeah, bro.
That, like a cop would use or something like that?
Dude, these are literally issued to like, I think like half a dozen or maybe
I want to try one
more.
of those. I need a new light to keep in the center console of my truck for work stuff.
So his assault light is issued to, and if Goonbeam, if you're on the chat, correct me, but I think it's like at least half a dozen police agencies issue the assault light to all new recruits. And this thing, bro, it is like hardcore. It's super solid.
Are those the sort of duty ones?
These are
super duty ones.
No,
Yeah,
I just
dude,
joking about
that.
y'all's last conversation about that.
But that's because I've basically made like a bastardized Geisley Super Duty. And
I mean, I wouldn't call it bad, but you know,
it's definitely not bad. It's not bad.
No,
but
it's
the
not
the
bad.
gun snobs will snob all over it.
I mean, I wouldn't call it a super duty, but
It's a sort of duty. It's a sort of duty.
It's a certain kind of duty for sure.
Yes, but the Goonbeam on it is highly trusted.
Yeah, bro. I even the pistol lights, dog. I've run Goonbeam lights. I've switched to Goonbeam on everything, and I've run the dog shit out of everything he's got, and it's been great.
I'm running it in the backwoods, man. I smoked 6 raccoons with my Goonbeam on my freaking little Ruger 1022, bro. It was badass as fuck.
Yeah, that light's no joke. You got the V1 or the V2?
I got the V2, dude. I love that thing.
Nice.
Risky, are there any good tools you use to help plan community defense?
Any good tools?
Shovels.
Comms? Sandbags?
Oh, that's a good one. To plan my community defense, you need to know and have maps of your area, printed maps. You need to know the high-speed avenues of approach in and out of your area. So like highways, think highways as arteries and back roads as veins, right? You got to worry about the arteries before you got to worry about the veins. Think about if you had to barricade those or block them off, or what if somebody else blocked them off? Find the closest bodies of water, and then see it with your own eyes. And if you can, see it through different seasons. So try to select a decent perimeter for yourself and multiple layers of it. So have like your inner zone, which might be your neighborhood. Have like a medium zone, which might be, you know, a half mile or a mile out, and then have like your large zone, which might be your county or your city or your town you're in. So that depending on what's going on, you've already identified, man, if they move past this point, we're going to have to think about forming up a defense or moving to another location, and know how much time that equates to and all that, and identify some the hazards or the things that an enemy force of different kinds, right? Because we don't necessarily know who might be the enemy. Identify strategic targets in your vicinity that might be advantageous for someone else to come and take as a reason for them to even be there.
I've recommended a while back, you can go to your local 911 office, and they usually have books of all the road maps and everything broke down into every neighborhood. So it's really good because you can break it down into smaller AOs. I have several of them right over here on my table. Somebody said, yeah.
Do they just call 911 to get that, or?
Yeah, you just go
right up.
No, go to the
highly
office.
What office?
My son does it all the time.
Go to radioreference.com also,
and find all of the frequencies and the repeaters publicly available in your area and print it off. And then if you have multiple radios or a scanner or something, plug those frequencies in there ahead of time and have hard copies of it. So you'll know what is the frequency that they'll have emergency traffic on for the local sheriff's department. What's the one that the ham buds are on? What's the digital one that they're on, right? What are the things like that? So you can have those in your database before something goes south. You're not gonna be able to look it up if there's no internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd recommend too. Everybody go to Forward Observer's YouTube channel. He has a really good video that breaks it down how to do an area study.
I'll have to check that out. Yeah,
Question for the panel.
Go ahead.
Is the Second Amendment in danger, or do we overhype the threat? I think if you would have asked us this and Kamala Harris had won this election, I think that the answer would be quite different.
I think it's in danger from Project Bluebeam.
I would say yes and yes. I'd say yes to both.
Yeah, I mean, the forces that be always want your guns. They will never stop wanting your guns. And this whole freaking Luigi Mangione bullshit with having the 3D printed gun, and it's all a stage, bro. What about the picture? What about the picture of Trump, RFK, Trump Jr.? I forget who else was in the photo, and I think Elon maybe was in the photo. They're all sitting on the plane eating McDonald's. You seen that photo? And now the kid who's the Minecraft of assassins is sitting at McDonald's eating a hash brown.
Yo, and don't forget too, another aspect to this, which like everything is a game of manipulation, shifting power and control, right? Everything, and in some way, even if it's just the general public being, more stupid, it's to their benefit. Don't forget that the Supreme Court case Vanderstock just was granted cert in August, September, and the Supreme Court is literally going to be making a decision. They're going to be deciding or ruling on if what they call ghost guns is something that's lawful to have, or if it in itself is a firearm. And right now, you have something that just occurred with a 3D printed V1 Chairman Juan frame and a JSD Patmos Judas slide and a 3D printed can. And I'm just saying it could very easily sway all of those judges, or enough to make a negative impact on that. So A, that's one thing. B, I just want to also say, and I know I did mention this once before, all those dudes, that the developer of the FT3 can that was used, who's openly doing like suppressor development and testing and publishing the results. Like, come on, bro. It's did you not think like anything could possibly happen? Like, let's be real. Secondly, all these people are like, Chairman Juan and others are always talking about how dope it is to get featured on an evidence table. Well, now all of their shit was featured on like the evidence table of the year, and all of them are sending out messages saying, please do not share this, please do not talk about it, keep it low key. And I guess I'm breaking all the rules by talking about it, but like it was already put out there. Like, y'all publish the shit with your names on it, your aliases. Like, the only thing I could say is everyone wants to do evidence, everyone wants to be on the evidence table until it's time to do evidence table shit. You know what I mean?
And then you want to go bigger conspiracy?
Let's do it.
Magpul drops a Glock grip.
Yeah.
A couple days after this.
Yeah. That is kind of crazy too. And it's a grip module. It's not even
it's a grip module.
Right? Yeah. It's crazy.
Hilariousness.
Go for it, Modern.
Go for what?
The question? Second Amendment under threat or no?
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Well, I think that question could mean a lot of different things, and I've never really bought into the idea like the hell yeah, we're gonna take your AR-15s. No, I don't foresee people coming around, and doing mass confiscation. That'd be a logistical fucking nightmare, and that would be an absolute, cause for war. But uh, I think people, they can slowly over time, convince people to give them up. Of course, not people like us, but there are a lot more people who are not like us who will just follow the rules, and as slowly as culture changes, and our society changes, I think that's where the danger comes in.
Bro, a lot of people would not even go for their gun if that shit happened. Like looking at just
Yeah.
like literally what just happened in Canada, 324 of the most popular firearms and even really stupid and gay ones were banned, and they're just like, "Oh shucks, well, all right." Like I think I fear that even people on this side would potentially trust, like you're saying, like there would be a lot of people like us that are like, that would just say no, right? In
Yeah.
various ways, with maybe even exchanging semi-precious metals. But like, I just, I think a lot of people would be like, well, this is really going to interrupt my Netflix schedule. So
I think the Second Amendment has already been bastardized to the point that it's not in its current form that it should be in. So it's definitely under threat because it's already taken enough blows, and we're all just sitting here, acting like life is normal. So,
well, if you think too, like you were saying, DLDs, that that's kind of the case in any conflict too. You know what I mean? Any revolution, any civil war, any war period, the majority of people don't fight. And I think, yeah, you're right. In that case too, yeah, most people wouldn't do jack shit.
Yeah, because they enjoy air conditioning and Amazon Prime, and and I don't blame them. Like I'm not eager to engage in a kinetic ground war. Like, come on, but bro, if I don't do it, the kiddos are gonna have to do it.
or they're gonna have to live in Kanye West, everyone in tan clothes behind chain link fences, one or the other. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, what really bothers me too is like times like when you see conflicts, like say like for example, when ISIS moved into Iraq, seeing military aged men who are perfectly capable of fighting as refugees when they should be, when you think they'd be in their own country defending their families and defending their communities in their country and trying to fight back against such an evil force, but they don't. Most people.
I wonder if they're putting shit in their water too.
Probably.
Risky. What do you think it would take for the American people? What type of event do you think it would take for the American people to just be like, risk it all and put on the mask and handle business?
I think we dodged one of those outcomes with the election. I think I think the Second Amendment is always in danger. It's just how close is the proximity of danger and what is the true threat. Moving forward right now, I could foresee there being such widespread chaos due to false flags and violence from deporting a ton of people, or more threats on Trump, or just false flags in general, to where a martial law order is declared for whatever reason. Especially if we're talking about the precipice of World War III, or maybe right after World War III kicks off, any variants outside of, Congress calling for war, whatever. I mean, they rounded up people and put them in camps in World War II, right? So why would this be any different if the threat level is so high? But if I were to guess, I would think it would take something like Project Bluebeam. I think maybe right now all we're waiting for World War III to kick off is for the excuse of, oh, Iran now has the ability to make nukes, right? They can enrich all the stuff, they can do it. Oh, look, they're testing it. Next thing you know, any nuclear threat whatsoever or anything, it's going to be blamed on them. That's what the handlers of our politicians and the people within our country want. The ones manipulating things on the back end want war with Iran. They have to have that. So if we can say, hey, they got nukes, and then any dirty bomb that enters the country, any exchange with Israel or something, and I'm not saying it is Iran. I'm saying it's probably not going to be them. It's probably going to be us doing it, blaming Iran. Then that gets us involved in World War III. Nukes are on the table. Then, oh man, the fucking aliens show up. They've been showing themselves on TV for the past few years. And then they say, you have to, disarm your countries of these nuclear weapons, and people will
Yeah.
fucking buy it. And then they're saying you have to get rid of all your guns too, right? And join together for world peace. And
Or they
enough
hit that
people are going
hand
to
of
buy
God.
it to where then they will logistically have the numbers against us. And I think that is when it's truly, and I could be wrong, this is just a long guess, but like I think that plays on the table because they're putting they're setting the stage, if you will. They brought in the prop of the aliens. I don't believe they're aliens. I think they're demons, and I think it's a lot of CIA bullshit as well.
The Galians.
I agree.
Yeah,
They're
fucking
fucking
Galians.
fucking lame, fucking gay.
Galians chill with the gay TF.
Yeah, and they're like hybrid bear / reptilian LeBron James is running around eating people's faces.
Okay, so that threat, what are y'all running if a half bear, lizard, alligator LeBron James is running around eating people's heads? What are y'all running?
Double
Best
up, baby.
Yeah, I was gonna say not double out bug, bro. I'm running slugs and slugs only.
Slugs. I'll tell you what though, if you get
and a 308, I'm carrying both.
I mean, I will say I am for this build competition. I am building a 12.7 millimeter AR. That's all. I'll say
Oh
right
yeah.
now. But
You might have to alter the TAC 79 grenades.
Oh, yo! I mean, I got my launcher right there, bro. I could.
I've been trying to tell you.
Law, I can make some spicy stuff. But look, I'm probably gonna run either 12 gauge slugs. That 12 gauge federal flight control is like it squirts a line of buckshot, bro. It's like a super soaker of buckshot. It is like 9.
Does anybody know if you can get slug tracers?
I don't know.
Slug tracers.
Never even thought of that before,
bro. Slug tracers would be the shit.
It would just be slow, like like
the laser beam behind it would be like this, big and big.
It would just look like a glow stick is launching through the air, bro. That man, shotguns are so underrated, bro. They're also, I mean, obviously, you have some severe restrictions, right, with distance. But I'm gonna tell you what, that flight control, you are patterning on a silhouette at like 50 to 70 yards, bro. It is insanity.
Risky. What did you used to call that 1308 rifle? What did you call it? The
Anunnaki Annihilator.
The Anunnaki Annihilator. Bro, who wouldn't want one of those things heads mounted in your house? I would love that.
You'd be a badass.
I want to wear their hands as gloves and just fucking slap people with them.
Dragon's Breath. Yo, JC9.
Yes.
I was actually thinking, like, since Dragon's Breath is cool, but it's like not really like ballistically effective, right? I was thinking like, could you and I promise this won't get too spicy. Hear me out. Could you make like bird or buck, or a combination of bird and buckshot with magnesium or titanium, and have like all the powder and all that? Because really that's all, like, most of that shit is. It's some type of fuel, like an oxidizer, like
bro. It's banned in my state. The first thing I do when I buy my new house in whatever state I'm going to is ordering some damn Dragon's Breath.
Yeah, but even then, but you
and
can
a
ban
binary
Dragon's Breath, but you can't ban pellets that you melted in your basement, like. And I'm not saying it's illegal. You're not doing something illegal. You're just using a different material for shotgun pellets. I think what would happen is they would still catch fire because it's like magnesium or titanium or aluminum, whatever you choose to use, because it's an oxidizing metal. But also ballistically, it would still destroy or impact whatever it was hitting. Just a little thought experiment.
Does anybody think, with like the way that movies have literally, like, they pound ideologies into our mind, like zombie movies, end of the world, do you feel like there's like somewhat of certain scenario fantasies, like zombies and things like that?
Look what they did with Doomsday Preppers, bro.
Right.
Like that.
Everybody go around and state your like
Okay.
Whatever shift fantasy you would have. If you could pick the shift fantasy for you, what would you want it to be? Like, you have to pick one. There's no getting out of the shift, so you can't just be like, I choose peace.
I'm traveling to Antarctica to fight Nephilim with 308 battle rifles, and I wear the mask.
I was gonna say I could see him on the front of the boat, like what's that freaking boat that went down? The famous boat, Titanic. Like my boy, like Leonardo DiCaprio at the front of the boat with the mask on top and the coat.
My goodness.
Wool cap, landing on the front with the 308.
I'm the one hogging the piece of ice or the door, and someone else is drowning, and I'm like, "There's no fucking room up here. I'm sorry." It's cold.
It's cold. And I could picture with the Viking hat from J6, the shaman hat.
The shaman hat with the mask.
Yeah, dude, beautiful combo. Beautiful combo.
Did you get to find like an anti-gravity thing and fly there? Would you take that over the ship ride?
Bro, I literally went to the shaman's Rumble channel before it got deleted after he got hemmed up.
What?
And my man was talking some crazy shit. He said he was a super soldier from the future. He was talking about triangular craft, everything, dude.
He was, yeah, I watched
everything.
What?
And then they nuked it. I watched all of them.
Hold on,
He was
Rumble
kind of out
nuked
there, but some of it seemed interesting.
Rumble nuked something? Yo, that's
the government pulled that shit.
I guess yeah, the government. Everyone says like Rumble, you'll never get banned from Rumble. It depends who wants you banned. You know?
Leah or Jennifer Red Dawn MFer, who's you got as your World War III boo? Bro, I got my wife as my World War III boo.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
I'm choosing my wife.
Ting Ting could be my boog wife. I ain't gonna lie.
Ting Ting?
Ting Ting.
You might be able to hit the Mulan on them depending on who's invading and blend right in, dog.
Bro, I'm gonna put her in my backpack and she's gonna be mag dumping out of her AK from my backpack. And you know what I'm saying?
I thought you'd carry a Uzi with you.
I'm gonna choose tactical girlfriend, and I'm gonna put her on a fucking leash or him on a leash, and it's gonna be the bait that I carry out in front of me, like in The Walking Dead.
I love how you said her or him.
Whatever's going
you
on
gonna
there.
cut the hands off too?
Yeah, that's fine. We'll do that.
Short sleeves are long sleeves.
You can cauterize them real quick, you know.
Nah,
We'll
you
pull
need
the
those
fish
hands
nets over
for
the
enhanced
stumps.
pleasure.
Dude, you could feed. Yo, Red Dawn, come on, man. Dang. Okay,
That was a joke. That was a joke. I'm not really gonna do that. Don't fucking sue me.
Would you use a GIMP ball, like the Pulp Fiction GIMP ball?
That's gay. I feel like it would be gay if I put that in.
Well, they turn around and try to go down on you all the time. That's
You're
not
already
Apple duct tape.
Yeah.
I mean, you're chopping off arms. Come on now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's already kind of there, you know.
It's like a baby's arm holding an apple.
If we're doing, so you're talking like boog fantasy, like I could choose anything.
Anything. Yep.
So I don't want to get you in trouble. It would be terrible if leftist extremists just all of a sudden developed this like debilitating brain disease that turned them into zombies. And I mean like slow.
You mean like the one that they don't already have?
Oh no, I'm talking about like actual Walking Dead zombies, but they're
see, I
like
don't like the
walking around with
zombies.
like but they're, bro, I'm not talking like Resident Evil, like super fast, sharp nail zombies.
Can they turn us into zombies or no? Like you have to be.
I mean, bro, you know the zombie game.
World War
This
Z
isn't
zombies?
new.
No way.
Yeah, no, World War Z zombies, bro.
I want to change mine. I want to change mine.
Do it. We'll go through.
Well, let me finish this real quick, okay? Because this is important. Because people, you know, like when you think of like the second coming of Christ, right?
Yeah.
Like the moment they hear those trumpets, a lot of people are going to be like, okay, yo, I believe now, right? Like the moment that people out there that are like, there's the extreme leftists that are like feminism and equality for the, and you know, LGBTQ, purple, silent letter 2, whatever. The silent letter 2, whatever, you know what I'm saying. you have those extreme people, and then you have the people that are kind of more like just a little left of center that would see all their crazy friends turn into zombies and be like, okay, show me Tucker Carlson, show me like like just trying to like.
Are they all wearing Uggs and pajama pants?
Bro, they're still holding Starbucks cups with their misspelled names on them. Like they are straight up like leftist extremists that are just like.
I feel like that one's so easy. That's such like that's like zombie
That's the
land.
point. I don't want to create a difficult scenario.
You don't want someone with a challenge.
I want to have fun. Dark is gonna have Channing Tatum Gimp. That's so bad. Okay, sorry, I'm done.
This is the end. Was hilarious.
Lord forgive me for what I said, by the way.
All right. Muffin Top, what would you do? You could pick your own shift.
Dude, I gotta have zombies. I think that Zombieland zombies would be so much fun because like sometimes they get a little quirky and they have some interesting thoughts, like the bathroom one. Or like the clowns and shit. Oh man.
Are you talking Zombieland 1 zombies or Zombieland 2 zombies?
Dude, 1 all the way.
Okay.
Zombieland 2 doesn't even count. Okay, that's a fake.
Yeah,
that doesn't even exist.
That also could get a little scary if they start like knowing how to do stuff and climbing and thinking and whatnot.
Right. Yeah, but like just raiding a Twinkie truck would be badass, dude. Just like chilling at the freaking fair, just smoking them. Hell yeah, dude. That's
I'm taking aliens over zombies.
What?
Yeah, I'm taking the aliens. Modern frontiersmen.
I wouldn't care what would happen, but I would like to see after SHCF to see like those raiders, not just any raiders, but like the Fallout raiders, that are like half dressed and retarded, and they get they glitch out and get stuck on stuff, and they're stuck running in place with a machete, and you just pop them from a distance. They're
like straight like actual NPCs.
Yeah. They just glitch out all the time in real life. That would be
like Afghans trying to do up downs and shit. Trying to do jumping
We could
jacks.
do without the super mutants and Fallout. Like that would not be fucking cool. Let's just go with the retarded raiders.
Risky. Are you changing yours?
Oh yeah. I'd want mine to be like a sort of like a Black Ops deal, right? Where I just pull the Uno Reverso and I kind of like parachute in to Israel, and then I have to slowly work my way to the top and then start influencing their entertainment industry and their banking system. And then I take Israel over the way, and then I just make it more white with just Christians in the same way. And it's like, then we would just win everything that way.
All of this is for
what about the
entertainment
Hebrew
purposes
Israelites?
Yeah. I'm not going to go any further into this.
I was about to dig you in a hole.
I heard there was a small group called. I'm sorry. I'll shut up.
Anyways, I would pick. Oh man, I'd probably pick like a Red Dawn situation. As long as I got the crew, I would hope they'd be commies. I'd hope they'd be blue helmets. And I hope for some reason that like all of their guns came from like Bear Creek Arsenal. That would be like my dream. They all have malfunctions. None of their shit works.
Barrels
They're firing pins.
blowing up.
Yeah. And they get their ammo from the West Virginia ammo factory.
Ooh.
If y'all know about that. But that would be like the key. Like they have just the shittiest shit. Right? They all got trench foot. They all are just like the most broken hearted.
We got one mag.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Right.
No, but those fools also came in with like tanks and APCs and
those
RPGs.
would all be ours, bro. That shit would all be ours.
I mean, if they're all running Bear Creek, but some of
no DK Moderns Bear Creek. I forgot Modern runs at Bear Creek.
Oh, I don't care. I don't care if you hate it. I've not had any problems with mine. You can hate it all you want.
That's remarkable. I would frame that shit.
Jay hasn't either. Modern Minuteman. He said he hasn't had any problems either.
Look, I used the Bear Creek Arsenal in that 50 I'm building, and I'm a little nervous. But dude, Bear Creek Arsenal is the only company that I've ever, and I'm not just shitting on everything. Okay, look, that the BCA Grizzly is official. The $295 Glock clone, like, bro, that thing is fire. I literally have it right here.
Josh got one too.
Yeah.
I was so happy they sent me one. They're sending me AR-10 next month too. So I'm looking forward to see.
Honestly, I mean, they use good materials and everything. I really think their only issue that I've ever really seen with their stuff is like their bolts and their gas ports if their gas ports aren't in spec and they haven't been checked properly. As long as you get a good bolt, yeah, sometimes their gas ports can either be too small or not in the right place.
Sometimes their gas ports are drilled on the wrong side.
I don't trust it at all. I've had one, and it just felt shitty. Just everything about it felt shitty. The muzzle brake or the muzzle device was odd. I just got an M16 version, and it was hand tight. The grip was loose, and the bolt. I mean, it looked okay, but I immediately swapped it out for something else.
That's what they said at the factory. They looked at it like, it looks okay.
I remember you telling me and Jay that on Instagram. And I agree with you about the damn muzzle device. It's freaking weird. I wish they wouldn't make it like that. It's kind of retarded. I thought you hadn't had any problems out of yours either.
I don't even know where.
I
have an upper.
Fucking shot it because I don't like it.
The muzzle device is so ugly. I can't shoot it.
The Bear Creek M16 exists, so yeah.
You still have it? You've moved so many things. You haven't moved that?
It's under a pile of dirty laundry somewhere.
That's the one he gives to the guy who shows up he doesn't really like that much.
The one thing I'll give them credit for is they got 4 screws. Even if they come hand tight, they got 4 screws in their rigs.
Bro, that literally is the homeless person army tool, right? It's like, you sir, you know.
What I think though, it's like I've been changing parts out on mine. Like I got that AR gold trigger I put in it, and I've ordered some stuff from BCM. But I think it's fine for people to start out with something like that, just to start building something and then switch stuff out. I mean, it's better than having nothing.
I would also 100%. Say that straight up, BCM is a champion for content creators. If you hit them up and you say, "Hey,
BCA."
I'm sorry, BCM. Goodness.
BCM, if you don't want to hit me up, bro.
Yeah, hit me up.
Content
BCM
creator
all day. 12,500 rounds through that BCM.
I will shill hard for you, BCM.
Yeah, both hands. Straight up.
Yeah, BCA is very affiliate friendly.
Yeah, straight up. Homegirl Amy, what you need, I got you. Sends that joint out. Like, no question. She's incredible. She was like, "You want the Grizzly? Would you like the 101 or would you like the 102? What barrel color would you like?" I was like, "Well, I kind of want to run this in my Safari Land. I'll send a threaded barrel and a standard barrel." And she sent, bro, she's so dope. She sent me the rose gold standard barrel and the threaded barrel, and it came with the stainless one in there. So I'll use it, but I do like what they're doing. They care about content creators.
Toy Town Inc. bought a second-hand Bear Creek Arsenal. And he said their warranty is shit. He bought it through them. No dice. Got an upper from the FFL. Crooked gas block. No coverage. F them.
That's why it's $199 for an upper, dude. Yeah. Earlier I was saying BCA. I was about to say BCM again. BCA is the only company where I know a manufacturer that does a lot of things, and he ordered a batch of AR barrels, and the gas blocks on like half of them were, or the gas ports on half of them were drilled on the wrong side of the fucking barrel, bro.
Well, like, I did hear that they had like a bunch of illegal immigrants working in their factory, and like the ICE showed up and like took half of them away or something.
You guys talking about PSA?
Yeah.
Can I do that? Can I cover for you like that? But anyway, modern. I was saying when they, these guys run super tactical shit before you hopped in. I just run PSA Sabres, dude. And when I run them for a couple of years, and I don't run them that much because I like my round count to stay in my fucking safe, bro. You know what I mean? So like PSA is like a poor man's like get in entry level. Same with Bear Creek, dude. I'd rather have every American have a Bear Creek in their hands or a PSA in their hands than nothing.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat. That's what they're doing.
No doubt. If I would much rather have, if we're talking every American, bro, at birth, here you go. Here's a BCA. Yeah. I'd rather have a PSA, honestly, but
I think we all should be issued knights at birth.
They might make it.
We are Americans. We paid enough fucking taxes throughout our life that we should be issued a fucking knights.
If they didn't have those damn proprietary parts, I guess it wouldn't much matter if every single human being in the country had one, but yeah,
they wouldn't be so proprietary at that point.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
it'd be in common use.
That's right. R.I.P. Jonah. Thank you, Damian Christ.
All right, so I know we stream a lot. Do any of you guys have any questions for Risky? Because it's a rare Dogman sighting tonight. You got a slide, Risky?
How many Nephilim did you slay whilst gone?
Go ahead. If anybody has a question for the brother before he slides out.
I got a question. I don't want to. I'll reserve mine if anyone else wants to ask a Risky question. Go ahead.
I have one because this will help out another group too. You got any plans on doing any more gear or linchpin?
I don't know if we have anything in the works. I'm open to it though.
Hell yeah.
He said anybody who wants to open source his likeness and hit him up, and he'll work something out with him.
But you better hit him up. Don't do it on your own.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Well, Risky, appreciate you guys coming on. Appreciate the rest of you fellas, man. It's almost 3 hours for us, so I'm gonna call it a deuce too.
I just got one quick question. Just kind of wrapping it up. Actually, it's not a quick question. It's just a question. So, Risky, out of all the stuff going on in the world, all the craziness, the ridiculous shit that we've been dealing with, although we're headed in a good direction, it seems, we never know what's really going to go on. But out of everything that could potentially happen, what are some things that keep you up at night? Like, what are some things that bother you that bothers you to the point where you're like, man, I gotta prep, I gotta prepare, I gotta train, I gotta do, like what are some scenarios that keep you up at night?
I think world war is inevitable, and most people that die in war die of starvation. So I think about that. I also think about what these satanic PDF file freaks are going to do when their back's up against the wall. And I think that could, mean they shut the grid down somehow, they shut off the internet, they do any multitude of things that just throws life into a tailwind, right? Like,
yeah.
I that's what I think of. What are they gonna do? Because they got to do something to cover their ass, and it can't be something small. It's got to be something that's so distracting or so devastating that the system itself that is hell bent on holding them accountable, allegedly, apparently, right? Like to what extent, I don't know, but they have to do something to disrupt that, and that's a huge system, a broad, vast system. So whatever they got to do, if they're successful, has to fucking throw all that off.
Dude, I think one of the most impactful things that I've heard you say, and it's interesting because I've thought of things like this, but I guess hearing it in the concise way that you said it was not necessarily like alarming, but it was definitely like, you get that feeling in the pit of your gut. There was one, and it may have been on Instagram or may have been one of your schizo rants. I can't recall, and you may recall once I say it, but you basically had said the people that are, in opposition to us, the people that are running the show, whatever you want to call them, right? Those satanic PDF file, whatever, they have committed terrible atrocities. They have committed mass murder. They've committed all these terrible acts. They have, unleashed, viruses upon their people. They've committed, every terrible thing you could possibly think of. So what do you think they're not willing to do to defend it? Like what are the penalties for that? Right? The gallows, like that's it. Right.
I mean, if they're willing to do what they did to children, right? Like the Epstein stuff, if they are willing to do that, there's nothing they're not willing to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what's the worst of the worst? PDF files, murderous PDF files, especially ones in power.
Yeah.
Right? Those are the worst people around.
Absolutely.
So they have nothing to lose. They have everything to gain.
And they will do anything to protect themselves, the power they've garnered, yeah, just say you said it way more eloquently than I just, that was definitely impactful when it was like, they've committed everything from mass murder, genocide, treason, obviously what's the
mass murder. Next one on the table.
It's kids, man. As soon as they start going for the kids, like in that book, the terrorists start killing kids and raping kids on live TV, dude. I'm cutting through anything to get to mine.
I mean,
I don't care if I do it with a fucking pocket knife. They can go through my fat, bro.
All right, I gotta ask Risky this last question, then we're sliding. Clint Eastwood asked this a few times. Risky, you know anyone that has served that has Parkinson's disease from burn pits?
I don't know anyone that has Parkinson's from that. No.
I have met one person. I don't know him personally, but I've met one guy before.
Well, everybody, really appreciate you. Drew in Oregon, J954, thank you so much for donating to the channel, helping your boy out while I'm in this gap between jobs. And we appreciate Risky coming on, DLD After Dark, Modern Frontiersman, Tactical Muffin Top. Subscribe to all their channels. Make sure you go check out Risky over at X and Insta. And it's your boy Red Dawn. You guys got any last important words?
Stay self-reliant.
Stay strapped.
Keep that thing on you.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate talking to you guys.
Anytime, bro.
Risky, you're the man. And I am on my race to 5,000 subscribers. So anyone, I do a live show every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. It's DLD After Dark. And check out DLD Hardware and Definition Knives for some super sick blades. And
best blades.
Thank you. And thank you, Red Dawn, and thank you, Risky. It's always so great to get up with Risky.
And if you have been on this stream and you came for Risky, sub to the channel, hit the like button, all that stuff. Jesus Christ is King and Lord. Find that out for yourself, and that's the best thing you can do with your life. So on the next one, y'all, we will see you.
It's all risky. The minute you were born, it got risky. If you think trying is risky, wait till they hand you the bill for not trying. If you think investing is risky, wait till you get the tab for not investing. See, it's all risky. Getting married is risky. Having children is risky. Going into business is risky. Investing your money is risky. It's all risky. I'll tell you how risky life is. You're not going to get out alive. That's risky.